a hammerhead ship and just fly it into the Kremlin. Or wait, no, I don't know. Something. Fly it into ISIS.
Fly the White House into ISIS.
Make like a shield helicarrier out of the White House.
Hey, we're back.
Oh.
I bet you didn't expect another one so soon, you fucking
I have to go to the bathroom.
Perfect.
Jesse has to go to the bathroom.
I'll leave the door open so you guys can hear me pee.
Please.
I don't know.
So we got Jesse.
Hi.
We got Grant.
I'm back because I wasn't in the last one. So
Yeah, we got Grant in this one now.
I am back from college.
And we got Robbie.
Hey.
And we got whoever this dude is that's talking.
Yeah.
And we don't have Brad, which is awesome.
Awesome. Why?
Because we can talk about Rogue One now.
Yeah, we can talk about Rogue One. I don't know.
Jesse's still pissing, so
We're just gonna dive right in then. Jesus Christ.
Why not?
I don't know. We can. I don't wanna.
Yeah, we're good now.
So, what'd you guys think of Rogue One?
Wow, it was so
Did
shitty.
you get rum in your backpack?
Yeah, Rum One.
Rum One.
John.
He's like
You
the
still
guy.
have hams in your backpack.
I know.
The guy's like,
I never
you
emptied
gotta
my
come with a
backpack.
call sign. Rum One.
Hams one.
That guy is like slugging hams as he's like,
All
big
right.
ham.
So
Ham.
this New Year's was fucking fun as shit.
Yeah.
I got blackout drunk on hams. It's just a Minnesota beer that's
The
ass
cheapest
swell.
fucking beer you
It
can buy.
is literally sewer swell.
Oh, dude, Robbie and I agree. Natty is worse.
Dude,
Natty
cheap?
is like
No. It's literally the cheapest beer.
Natty is cheaper than
Yeah,
Hams.
there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
Natty
Natty
is
is literally the bottom of the. The only thing more bottom of the barrel is literal barrels like liquor, which is like Swish, which you leach out of like whiskey barrels. It's fucking disgusting. Like you take old whiskey barrels and there's like liquor in the wood, and then you like leach it out of it.
Yeah.
And it's fucking disgusting ass.
So New Year's Eve night, that was the first time I've ever gotten blackout drunk before. I've never had it to where I literally cannot remember half the night.
Get half a case of ham. Right?
Apparently-
You drank 15 hams.
Yeah, I know. That's not that much.
That's
But
50. John, that's not that much.
some of the guys were playing Magic, and I wanted to go play apparently. And I grabbed my cards and tried to sit down.
You spilled all
And
your
I-
cards over the table.
Yeah, and then I tipped over my chair and slammed my head into a door, and I found a bump on my head the next morning.
It was too perfect. What
We
we watched?
We chugged hams in the snow.
Yeah, the thing is, I had them go buy me like the cheapest champagne they could find,
Do you
just
even drink?
for the formality of it.
Yeah.
And I'd never even opened it.
You only drank hams.
Yeah, I only drank my hand.
Like,
Well, I
I
had
got-
some of my rum
like,
too.
I got
Four-man
pretty-
champagne right there. Yeah.
Like I got pretty drunk on like cider and vodka and stuff, and you were just like, no, only hams. I never saw you without a hams until you were literally passed out.
Yeah, and I was just very high.
At one point.
we were watching We were watching the Angry Birds movie because he tried to convince us that it was the most red-pilled movie ever made.
I didn't say shit about it.
Who was it? Because the Gunner.
Yeah, I think Gunnar put it on.
And it was like, oh, this movie is all about the migrant crisis and shit. Like, all the green pig guys and the Muslims. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then they go and bomb their sovereign nation to oblivion.
Maybe. I don't fucking know how that movie. I barely
They
was paying
literally
attention.
just carpet bombed the nation in the last act.
So you're like playing music and then it like essentially broke the Bluetooth. And then I got excellent. Yeah. And then New Year's Day we also had a lot of fun.
Yep, we dropped acid New Year's Day. That was fun.
We got. It was pretty strong acid too.
Yeah.
It was pretty lit.
Potent ass acid.
I played Halo Reach for like
Well, yeah,
6 hours.
me and Jesse. Well, Jesse more than me, but ultimately we got like 2/3 of the way through Halo Reach's campaign on heroic difficulty somehow, by some grace of
Yeah,
God.
if you guys have ever heard that story of the baseball player who like dropped acid before a game and then pitched a perfect game, it was basically that.
It was that. It was equal.
basically
It was
that
equal
with Halo
to.
Reach.
I don't know. I spent the whole time writing and like playing music, so I mean that's the sum total of my. But Jesus H Christ, I can't believe you guys even got that far.
Yeah.
Because you handed me the controller, and I was just like, no,
I would have
no way.
Yeah.
I would have kept going. I was just getting tired. Like my fingers were getting sore, and I was just like.
What was the last mission you did again? It was
the New Alexandria mission. I got like 2/3 of the way through that mission, and then I had to stop.
Fuck, that mission's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus,
It's long
Christ.
too. So when we
So
fly
long,
around,
you have to blow up all those like signal jammers.
yeah. So when we fly around in the Falcon, yeah.
And I got all cliche with it and went and listened to Dark Side of the Moon.
You locked yourself in a bedroom in
I-
my basement.
Yep.
Shut the lights off, put a blanket over you.
Yep. And I just sat there in the dark listening to it, and it was, you know, it's a cliche for a reason. I definitely recommend it.
Oh yeah.
It was a powerful experience.
Leanna watched Avatar: The Last Airbender for a little while.
The show or the movie?
The TV show.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Pretty
like,
good.
did you discover that the movie is secretly a gem?
No, we
Like
didn't.
watching it, and then you and I watched Black Mirror, right?
Oh yeah.
Watched that one episode.
Which one did you
Shut
watch?
up and dance.
Oh, I watched that one the other night.
Fuck, that episode.
Oh, you
so
did?
good.
Yeah,
What did you think of it?
it's alright. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty fucked up.
Robbie hasn't seen it, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
Because we were originally gonna watch 15 Million Merits, and then I
That one's
vetoed
good.
that because that one is the most depressing shit in the world,
Mm.
and would have killed all my high.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
It was really good, but
I
it
like-
just ugh.
So I also
Hits it
watched
hard.
I watched Be Right Back too, and I think that one's my favorite so
What's
far.
that one?
It's the one where the lady's husband died. And
Oh,
she
it's
signs
Domhnall
up-
Gleeson.
She signs up for that service that like lets her like talk to him,
Is it funny
talk
that,
to like a program simulation of him.
what was the movie that Domhnall? He was the guy in Dread, wasn't he? He was the hacker
I don't know.
with the weird robot eyes.
Maybe.
You know Dread.
Yeah, but I don't know that character. He was in Force Awakens.
Yeah, he was the big. Wait, did he die in Force Awakens?
Nope. Well, I guess we don't really know. No, he didn't, because he
Did
went
he
up.
fly away? I don't remember him ever.
Well, yeah, he while the Star Killer base or whatever was blowing up, he went up to Snoke and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Something's going on. Can I leave?" And Snoke's like, "Yeah, grab Kylo and
Get
get
the
out of
fuck
here."
the
Get
next
out.
phase
Yeah.
of my plan
Yo.
after my big battle.
Yo,
station
Snoke,
blew
she's
up.
going real bad. Can we
Yeah.
dip?
Can I leave? Is-
I got work in the morning.
I
You
actually
gotta
like
get
that
out of
scene
here.
where he does like big speech, then they shoot the little gun.
Dude,
off.
the popos are unfortunate. We gotta
What
go.
was? You know what? It blows my fucking mind though. Captain Phasma is in the next movie, like on the cast list,
In
and
episode
how the
8.
hell did she survive? That makes no sense. She's thrown in the trash.
No, they didn't say that they did that. He just brought it up as an idea.
What could they have done? Like, oh, like
Just
here's a shuttle.
left her tied up, and then somebody walks by and like, "Oh, hey boss, let me untie you."
Hey, boss.
And then,
Hey, well, this is nice chrome armor
"Hey
you got
boss, give me pussy, boss. Give me the pussy."
on. He's the only like female stormtrooper though, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't think I've ever seen another like female clone trooper.
There's more in like the non-canon extended universe now.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Get that shit out of here. Not canon.
You know what I
Bring
thought?
back
pretty
Thrawn,
good.
but don't bring back like everything else. Cause fuck the use on Vaughn. Fuck the super weapons.
fuck.
Fuck.
Chewbacca literally getting killed by a planet falling on him.
It's like a vampire.
What?
alien.
Chewbacca dies when like a planet collides into another planet.
Yeah, it was
He's,
like a
trapped
moon
on it.
crushed.
Rip.
crushed into the moon,
He
yeah.
literally dies in like being crushed. with
Pretty-
the planet.
I mean, it's probably the way that all
The Force
Wookiees
Awakens was the worst movie I've ever seen. Why would Leia hug Rey and not Chewie? That makes no sense. She ruined the entire movie.
What are you
That's the
talking
reason
about?
she died.
People yell about that all the time
What
on
the
the
fuck are
internet.
you talking about? I don't even remember that scene.
It's the scene when Rey and Chewie and everybody gets back from blowing up the base, and Rey runs right up to Leia and they hug, and Chewie. They show the next scene right after that is like a shot at Chewie and he's just sad. He's like sitting by himself and sad.
Oh, okay.
And people online are
Chewie
like,
probably
"You
like.
ruined the movie. It doesn't make any sense. She doesn't even know that bitch." Okay, dude, calm down. No, it doesn't make sense.
Jesus Christ. Wait. So anyway, Rogue One. I liked it.
Rogue One was really, really good.
I
liked it a lot.
I agree with your assessment. That's as good as Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
up
I'd
there.
say if you were gonna rate the Star Wars movies,
A lot of people said
Be
the
around
characters were like the worst part of that movie. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I thought they're like the best part. I love the characters.
well, the
They're-
characters are pretty. They're simple.
Dude, come
It's
on.
like-
you telling me that
well,
Chirrut
no, it's-
is like the coolest dude.
No, you got the rebel girl who's like feisty, and you got the
Just a formula.
Mexican dude that's like
Not kinda like Han Solo. Like what are you fucking?
yeah. No, there's people complain about the characterization in that, and I mean, I don't really see it as a big problem. That's not really where the focus of the movie was. The focus of the movie was more on. It was way more focused on the plot than like most Star Wars movies are, I think.
I heard a criticism that like you need to have watched other because it has no title crawl or anything.
Oh yeah.
That like you need to have prior knowledge. You know who the Empire is. You know who the Rebels is.
Well,
because it does do a lot of callbacks on like older movies, things like that.
Well, I've talked to people who saw that movie and that was the only Star Wars movie they've seen.
Really?
And they said, "Yeah, I get it."
What? They've only ever seen that one?
Yeah, that was the first Star Wars movie they've seen, and they enjoyed the movie and they understood it and could follow it. It was just they probably didn't get like little references and stuff like that.
Because they used like old footage and like.
But I think there's
stuff like that, and like I mean, they probably were weirded out when they saw Tarkin.
Yeah, well, like a lot of people said they didn't notice it right away, and I didn't really notice it right away either.
What?
The CGI Tarkin.
You didn't know that Peter Cushing was fucking dead?
No, I knew he was dead, but I didn't like. It didn't jump out to me that it was CG until I thought about how it could be there.
I thought it was great. I think people.
I thought it was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it
way
was
better than like Tron. Was it Tron Legacy? Tron Evolution?
Yeah, it was the best face CG I've ever seen, and I mean, it's still recognizable as CG, but I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where it's totally indistinguishable.
Oh, we will eventually. Again, that one Tron movie, they had like what's his name?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, like he was like Clue 2, and that was like it looked like shit.
That was pretty bad.
Like it was like melted cheese on his face, and it was like
Disney did that movie, didn't they?
Yeah.
What? Oh, but
I also did this.
So the second time I saw Rogue One though was in 3D with my family.
Yeah.
Don't see the 3D version.
Well, I don't ever see 3D movies.
It's terrible.
Because
it doesn't add anything.
Movies, when you wear 3D glasses, like the picture quality feels lower, the color saturation.
Yeah, usually when they adapt a movie film for 2D for 3D, for some reason the colors are incredibly muted and dark.
Oh yeah.
So all the dark scenes.
The first time I watched Avatar was in fucking 3D, and it blew half that movie because that movie's like super good visually in terms of like colors and things.
Well,
like
Avatar was designed with 3D in mind.
Yeah.
So, but
I suppose in 3D.
Yeah, in the dark scenes you couldn't make out details at all, but it made the CG faces look like real faces.
Really?
Yeah, removing that little bit of detail context.
Yeah.
It looked like they were actually there. So.
Oh.
We saw Force Awakens in the IMAX.
Yeah,
when it first came out.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was
looked
good.
really cool.
Dude,
Oh yeah, that was in 3D, wasn't
I don't
it?
think I ever
Yeah,
seen
that
it
wasn't.
in IMAX.
That didn't really.
I think that one is more. That one is like kind of better suited for 3D though.
Yeah, that IMAX
Yeah,
theater.
Yeah. Well, also that movie just in general.
Oh yeah,
So
it's a lot of bright
like,
colors.
and it had a lot more like
Scenes that were
sweeping, like big action scenes.
I gotta say though, Rogue One was really. I think it felt like a lot more action packed than Force Awakens for sure. Like I would say that final little big land battle on the Scarif and the big space battle above it, where he fucking slams a Star Destroyer into another Star Destroyer.
I don't know.
No,
I think Force Awakens definitely had more because they had like the Millennium Falcon chase with the 2 TIE fighters, and then they had the big scene at the bar where the X-wings fly in, and they had the whole Starkiller base section.
I think Force Awakens was a lot
Final
more consistent with its action. I think pretty much, no matter where you turn on the movie, it's probably an action scene.
Yeah.
But with Rogue One, that whole third act is a gigantic action.
Well, I don't know. Like
Almost
the first part. Well, the first part of Rogue One, like the intro, isn't very action packed.
Yeah.
And then, like, I mean, I think the whole first section of that movie. But once they get onto what was the first planet called? The desert planet.
The desert planet?
I know the Edu one, and I know Scarif. I don't remember what the first one was called.
Jeddah. But
yeah.
that was a moon. That's a moon.
It's a fucking
idiot.
Like, no, because you had that fight where they're, like, ambushing, and then you see the fucking Death Star blow up the city.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get the shit on Edu with the fighters coming in, and Shira shooting the TIE fighter out of the air and slamming into that turret.
Dude, the Death Star destroying Jeddah was
awesome.
It was amazing.
Fucking super high.
That was pretty incredible.
Both those scenes where the Death Star like just annihilates the base, I thought was cool.
Oh.
I mean, I thought it was a little dumber on Scarif because it like clips the top of it.
So I read up and did a little research on. I tried to figure out what exactly because they did reshoots and like some rewrites, I think. But they did reshoots. I know that. And I tried to look up exactly to see what they reshot.
Yeah.
And it turns out that in the original cut of the film, they had less characterization.
Really?
So a lot of people think with the reshoots they cut out a lot of characterization, but they added some stuff. Like the scene where Cassian shoots that rebel guy, they added that. That was a reshoot.
Yeah, good part. Yeah, makes him seem a little more darker.
Yep, and in the trailer they show that TIE fighter coming up on the catwalk while Jin is walking toward it.
Oh yeah.
They said that scene was cut pretty early on, but Disney really wanted it in the trailer because it looked cool.
Wait, where the TIE fighter shoots the catwalk?
They had a ton of stuff that was in the trailers that wasn't in the movies.
In the trailer, it shows Jin walking toward that lever on top of the dish. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? And while she's walking, a TIE fighter comes up, like, flies right up in front of her at the end of the catwalk. And that scene isn't in the movie.
Yeah, there's in the movie, the TIE fighter like strafe and walk.
Yeah, it shoots the catwalk.
There's a lot of scenes that are in the trailer that aren't in the movie.
Right. There's
and
in
the
trailer
whole,
there's a speech from Saw.
Yeah,
speech from Saw that's
Dude,
not in there.
I feel like Saw shouldn't even been in it. I feel like he didn't do anything in the movie for me. I feel like they could have replaced it with something.
Yeah,
because he's just not in it for very long. It's just Forrest Whitaker saying words that you kind of can only half understand.
Forrest Whitaker is so old.
He's a character from the show. He's a character from their Star Wars Rebels.
I know, but like, do we have to have him in? Like,
I feel like they had some sort of commitment that they had to have.
I would have rather had like a prison break sequence than breaking the pilot out or something like that. That would have been awesome.
No, with these Star Wars movies, there's probably so many like. There's probably a huge checklist you have, like when you sign into the movie, you're like, okay, you got to satisfy what Disney needs for their marketing. You got to satisfy that this character's in the movie so that we can pseudo promote the show. You know, like there's probably all these bullet points that they have to meet, and it's amazing that they can make like good movies out of all the pressure they're under and all that.
Oh yeah.
So.
I don't know. They did.
I think Rogue One is pretty incredible, and
oh yeah,
I think people are being
for a spin-off. Yeah. Holy shit! Yeah, like
I think people are being pretty hard on it.
I'm a lot less excited for the Han Solo spin-off.
I don't know. I can't wait to see Donald Glover playing Lando Calrissian. That's gotta be good.
Oh yeah, I forgot he is.
We've got two good movies in a row.
Miles Teller ain't bad either. You know, I feel like he could do a good Han Solo.
Oh yeah, who's Alden Ehrenreich? That's who's gonna be Han Solo. He was in
what?
Alden Ehrenreich, that's his name.
What the fuck is that?
Well, he's the guy that's going to play the young Han Solo.
No, Miles Teller is, I thought.
No. They didn't cast him. They casted Alden Ehrenreich. And he was in Hail Caesar, which was a Coen Brothers movie earlier, 2016. That was a weird movie. He played a cowboy, dude.
Has any like more recent Coen Brothers movie been good?
I thought Hail Caesar was good. It was definitely like really freaking weird, but I liked it.
Sounds like a Coen Brothers movie, dude.
Yeah.
Have you seen A Serious Man? That movie is really.
Oh, I haven't.
This movie's kind of nuts. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's.
I like that one though.
But those Darth Vader scenes in Rogue One.
Yeah, that's pretty
shit.
good. I'm glad they got James Earl Jones.
I like that they have Darth Vader like showing his like super salty side, like he does in the extended universe, like where he's mouthing off to everybody.
We've never seen Darth Vader like fuck up rebels in the movies, and he just fucked them up.
That scene was amazing. But the first scene with Darth Vader, people made a big stink about because Darth Vader wouldn't make a joke. It's like, have you seen any of the other movies?
Yeah. Have you read the Darth Vader comics? Like,
no, there were a lot of people on Reddit that were like, Darth Vader is not. He would not.
Darth Vader would
make light of that situation.
Like
he literally saves a piece of Alderaan and like throws it at the feet of a guy and like, here's your home.
It didn't happen in the movie though.
That was in the comics.
Yeah, the comics.
Is it a canon comic?
Yeah, none of the.
I don't know if they're canon anymore.
Well, now that they because the Death Star canon, like them blowing up Jeddah, that wasn't the first target of the Death Star. The Death Star, the first demonstration of the Death Star was them blowing up the planet they built the Death Star next to.
Like you're talking about Alderaan, right?
No, they didn't build the Death Star over Alderaan.
What planet did they blow up?
Would that make any sense if they built the Death Star over Alderaan?
They're just
like, oh shit, they gotta have this weapon. Look at this big ass space station.
All the people on Alderaan are like, hey, we'll just this is what is it? This is like a giant shopping mall or something. You're like, yeah, exactly. Just support us, give us money and workers, and then they blow up the planet.
That's true. Alderaan.
Alderaan.
I don't even remember what the first planet was.
Have you ever had better soup? Yeah, on Alderaan.
Wait, what was the line? Just there's the choke on your aspiration.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Krennic.
James Earl Jones.
Also, his eyes were too red. His eyes were way too red.
Don't tell me that was an
Way
actual
too
criticism.
Oh, we're on Mustafar. Things are gonna be red.
In episode 4, they used red lenses in his helmet,
They did.
and they were slightly red. So,
But now they're too.
Well, remember when in episode 3 they did the same thing? When you see his vision, it's like red tinted.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they just make it like photorealistic? Is there an advantage to making it red as shit?
It just makes him angry all the time.
God damn it! I can't turn this fucking red off.
Also, why didn't he just use the Force to grab the data disk? Why did he keep slowly walking down the hallway? He didn't know who had it, and he didn't really know if it was on a disk or like on what it was on.
That was a fucking criticism. I did think it was kind of odd how the blockade runner, the ship, the Tantive 4, like leaves, because it almost seems like Vader would have been exposed to the vacuum of space, because it seemed like it was really awkward a little bit.
He had a helmet on.
Also, it was really, the ending was abrupt. It was like hope, and then it felt like it was just that. And they just cut.
You know what was cool? I went... Yeah, the first time we saw it, we went back to Luke's house, and we turned on episode 4 on demand, and it syncs up like really good with the beginning of episode 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it literally just starts with the fucking blockade runner getting chased by a Death Star.
Also, why would Darth Vader be asking Leia all these questions, and why not just arrest her? Because he saw her leave the Rebel fleet from the fight. It's like, well, maybe Leia was trying to buy C-3PO and R2-D2 some time. Maybe she was just lying because she doesn't want to just confess to crimes right away.
I did think it's kind of dumb that they just had a ship within a ship, and then there you go, episode 4. Like, I thought there's gonna be a little gap, not like actual minutes before episode 4.
Remember when you were like, "There's gonna be a sequel to Rogue One," and I was like, "What in the 10 minutes between the movies?"
Yeah,
the short film.
Where's the sequel?
About Vader like just traveling in hyperspace.
Vader
just
walking
like
back into his ship, turning it around, and jetting off into space after them.
But let's be real here. Hammerhead ships are the new hotness. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
They've been around since Knights of the Old Republic, I think. I think they came out in a video game. Can't remember.
Blows my fucking mind. Let's first stun this Star Destroyer with ion weapons, and then just ram that shit.
They stole the concept of the planet shield with the one gate from Spaceballs. The planet Druidia had
kinda.
But they used that for keeping
that.
oxygen.
It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
That was an artificial like oxygen dome, though.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
But it was still a thing that went around the planet.
They just stole it from Spaceballs.
Yep.
The Death Star turns into a giant maid and blows up Scarif.
Why didn't they just vacuum all the air out from the?
That would have killed the rebels in no time. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just build the Death Star so it just removes all the air like in that.
Also, it doesn't make sense that there was AT-ATs on Scarif. Why would they use those?
Because it's part of the Imperial.
Why would they use AT-ATs?
Why wouldn't they?
Like if you destroy any of the joints, they're gonna fall over.
Well, actually, fun fact: those weren't AT-ATs; those were AT-ACTs.
I actually figured that out. Yeah.
And
standardized testing formats of AT.
No, it's interesting. Maybe the Empire learned from that and made their AT-ATs have stronger joints and armor.
The other thing people didn't really know. I mean, that's the thing. X-wings can fucking fighters can take down AT-ATs, but not snow speeders can't.
They had X-wings on Hoth, didn't they?
No.
Yeah,
they did, but they never used them
one.
against the AT-ATs, which is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? You fucking morons.
Somebody's got to use that tow cable for something.
Actually, though.
TIE fighters are so fucking poorly designed because the viewport is only straight ahead. And they have these giant walls blocking their vision to either side. That's fucking awful.
What was did you see there's the other TIE fighter, though, that had the wings in front of it almost?
Oh, yeah. The Interceptor?
Yeah. It's not like the actual TIE Interceptor, but it was like a prototype almost, it looked like, flying around. Fucking Adam from
the space.
House of Cards flying around. Excellent. Well, the other guy, fucking Barris and Selmy. played the one guy who he plays the guy in the fourth movie who like does the Death Star plans, like it does the presentation, you know, like
I don't know who Barristan Selmy is.
the guy from Game of Thrones.
Which guy?
The guy who originally was like the head of the King's Guard, and then he joins.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Barristan Selmy.
He was in episode 4.
No, he played the character that appears in episode 4. So in episode 4, there's a scene where they're doing like a present. They're like, okay, we're gonna review the Death Star plans. Oh, the exhaust port is only 2 meters wide. You gotta use proton torpedoes.
That guy was in Rum One.
Character. Yeah, but it's played by the guy who plays Barristan Selmy, because the guy who played him is like.
I'm so confused. Oh my god.
God, it's the same character, different actors. That's
okay,
literally all it is.
All right, I believe you.
And they had they had Bail Organa, who looked just trashed. He was in that movie.
Also,
they had the same chick who played Mon Mothma.
Also, why were C-3PO and R2-D2 on Yavin 4 with the Rebel? Why were they there? Huh? Well, they said in episode 4 they were the property of Captain Antilles, and Captain Antilles was on Yavin 4 with everybody.
He's
part of the Rebels.
All these criticisms, like I can't believe people bitch about that much.
I read about Rogue One so much at work. It pissed me off.
It pissed you off that people.
Where are most of these criticisms coming from? Like,
it's mostly from Reddit. Just random people.
Did people have an issue with Donnie Yen at all, or like his character?
Probably.
I
can't think of anything right now.
The Force with me. Oh, the Force with me. I love that line. It's great.
I thought he was.
That's the most memorable part of that movie is like Donnie Yen's performance, being like this blind dude beating the shit out of people.
I liked how they that character they showed that you don't have to be a Jedi to use the Force.
He practically was a Jedi.
But he wasn't a Jedi.
You cannot be a Jedi and use the Rey's not a Jedi and she used the Force.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying I like they add another dimension to the Force lore, official canon.
Well, he's probably Force sensitive. That's the bullshit they use, where it's like, oh, you would be Force sensitive and basically move like pencils and shit, but like you can't like. But then you just no scope a TIE fighter and just like a fly to a
in the middle of a fight with Darth Vader. Wait, dude, look at this. He like takes a pencil out of his pocket, puts it on a desk. Hold on. And then he moves it a little bit.
Check this shit.
And then Darth Vader's like, whoa! And then he kills him. He cuts off his head.
Except Darth Vader can't shoot lightning.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't have actual hands.
He doesn't have actual arms. Yeah.
I thought that was so funny in episode 3 that Obi-Wan cut off every other limb except his robot one.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
There was a clip I saw on like Facebook one time. I think it was actually pulled from one of those like how it should have ended videos.
Okay.
But it was the fight in episode 4 with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan like walks up to him and is like, "You're made mostly of metal now, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he just crumples all his arms and like crushes his breathing box. He's like, "No, I need that."
I never understood why like people like. It's so odd because Luke Skywalker could do it in the extended universe where he'd basically like blow up your brain or something like that. It was something retarded. Like he could exploit a weakness. Like if you had like if like a droid had like a critical like had like a faulty reactor, he could sense it with the Force and then just fucking blow it up. And I forget what it was called. I mean, obviously that shit's not canon anymore. But like I never understood why like people don't really explore the Force enough. I don't think in terms of just the raw power you can do with it.
Yeah. It's because they started off the story with all the Jedi are dead except this one.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
And then again, if you had Force-only fights, like, it would be just people pointing their arms at each other and then just insane bass playing while you're watching the movie. Just yeah. I remember when I watched Force Awakens, and, like, one of the speakers or something at the movie theater was, like, busted. So, like, when the scene where, I think it was, like, Kylo Ren is, like, interrogating Poe Dameron or Rey or something, he, like, gets in their mind and does that thing, and when it played that like crazy bass, it just like sounded like shit. Almost exactly like that. Yeah. God, it was awful. But I mean, that was alright.
So initially, my reaction to Rogue One was like, "Yeah, dude, that was way better than The Force Awakens." And I thought The Force Awakens was really good too, but my initial reaction was Rogue One was way better. But recently, I rewatched both of them, Rogue One, and then I went home and watched Force Awakens. And Force Awakens is actually really good.
Yeah.
Like it's an incredibly tight movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The pacing is.
I think
almost
they just
perfect
need
on
to
it.
stop doing references to the old movie. I think they did a shitload of that in Force Awakens, which fine. Fan service. Seeing the Millennium Falcon for the first time, everyone fucking clapped in my movie theater. They went nuts.
Do Americans really clap in movie theaters? Do Americans really not have showers in the movie theaters?
the
Anyway, that's
showers.
an obscure meme.
There's only been like 3
That's
times
obscure.
or so. Like I can probably count on one hand the times that people have clapped in the movie theater. And I think the most recent one was after John Wick, when there was like maybe 10 of us in that theater.
Oh yeah, that was fun. No, but when we saw it at Force Awakens in IMAX, there were people like clapping and shit.
People
Were
lose
they?
their fucking
Yeah,
minds.
that was the opening
No,
night
but
of Force
I saw it
Awakens.
midnight
I don't
premiere, and it was
remember.
like people fucking lost it. People were dressed up and shit.
We
like,
went like the day it released, and we saw it in like the huge IMAX theater
At the Minnesota Zoo.
I don't remember people clapping, but I must not have been paying attention.
No, people clapped when they saw the Falcon.
that was
Same
the
with
best.
the
That's one of the
Disney
best
show.
moments of the entire movie, and also Han Solo and Chewbacca getting
Oh yeah,
revealed.
and I made sure when I was rewatching it, there's one shot before
When they showed Darth Vader's helmet, people went fucking nuts too.
Yeah, but when they reveal the Falcon, there's one shot when they're running toward the other ship where it's from the angle where you could probably see the Falcon.
Yeah,
So I paused it, and you can see the Falcon in that shot.
yeah.
I thought that was
They
interesting.
do it in such a way.
They
You know
show
that-
it for like less than a
Do you
second.
know that Simon Pegg voices that junk dealer guy?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I knew
He's
that.
40 portions.
Yeah.
He's in the suit too. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
that's a physical suit that then they
Blows my
added CG
fucking
over. it.
Yeah, they
He's
see
inside
the
there.
face.
Simon Pegg doing whatever he
Rum One.
And Daniel Craig was one of the stormtroopers too.
Oh yeah, Daniel Craig was the stormtrooper that Rey tricks.
Drop your blaster. I'll drop my blaster. That's great.
And I'll
Everyone
drop-
wants to get into the Star Wars movie. Just be like, oh, there I am. I would
Oh,
do it. Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god, that's me.
I would pay so much money just to be like an extra, just running around in the background or having like one line in a Star Wars movie. I'd lose my fucking mind. Would love it.
Most people would.
Oh yeah, it's the most popular. It's one of the most popular franchises of all time. Why wouldn't you want to like be in it or be involved in even the slightest capacity? Are they doing any more spin-offs though? Because besides the young Han Solo one,
They're
They
doing
don't-
one between every like main episode.
That's the plan. Yeah, they
What?
don't have anything past Han
Like
Solo
they're doing
officially.
they're doing like a
announced.
main episode like every 2 years, and then like or every other year, and then every year between that is like a spin-off one.
Yeah.
because they
So-
can't do episode 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 because that's basically covered by like the Clone Wars and like the TV show series, right?
They're planning one of the rumors.
Wait, you
is-
mean like between like 7 and 8? And
No,
eight,
I
right?
mean they're
Yes.
releasing them between them. They're not like doing a spin-off that takes place between each of them.
Yeah.
Like the
I was trying
one
to
of the
think what
rumor-
other spin-offs they could do.
one of the rumored spin-offs is like an Obi-Wan centric story.
And then
I'm
another
fine
one
with
is a Boba Fett one they're thinking about.
But
Fuck
they're,
Darth
yes.
Maul.
they're talking about, but
That'd be cool.
they're talking about doing.
They did a
having
lot of
Boba
Darth
Fett
Maul
in
stuff on the
young,
show, though.
Han Solo movie.
With Darth
I
Maul
know, I
spider
do.
legs.
There's nothing set in stone
Yeah.
with anything past the Han Solo movie at this point.
I'd be totally down for a fucking Boba Fett movie. That would be the shit.
That'd be cool. Oh, what was that one game on GameCube?
The Jango Fett game.
Yeah, the Jango Fett game.
That game
Star Wars
sucked ass.
Bounty Hunter.
But with,
Took
but
me
with
forever
Boba
to
Fett.
realize that you can capture people in that game, and that's like a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots when I first played that game. Yeah.
I saw a lot of leaked set photos for episode 8, like a lot, like 70.
It sounded like you saw them on accident. Like you're scrolling through your Facebook feed. and
No,
you're
I
like,
did.
Oh, I saw them on accident. No, I saw
Saw 'em on
70
accident. Well, might as
on-
well
I did
keep
see, it was an
looking.
accident. All I was
70 of
doing,
them.
it was an accident. All I was doing was going on our Star Wars leaks, and
Yeah.
somehow I just ran into those set photos.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Oh wait,
And then I
like you
scrolled
mean
through
like
an
ones
album
taken
of-
from a distance of the set, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
scrolled-
saw those too.
I scrolled through
Those
an
were. I
album-
thought you meant like promo photos.
No,
Like,
no.
I was like, what the fuck? There's no way they've released
I
those.
scrolled through an album of 70 of them looking for the exit, and I couldn't
Yeah,
find
I
it.
I don't know how to close the window. I just tried to get to the bottom, and I saw all of
It's
them.
gotta be this down arrow.
I
right?
accidentally clicked load the rest of the images on Imgur. I don't know how it happened.
I don't know. I don't even remember.
No, but I'm calling it right now. There's gonna be CG young Luke Skywalker
Why?
in Episode 8.
Why would they do that?
They
Like
just
for a flashback?
yeah, for a flashback.
Why?
Just to fill something in, say something that he's done in between.
They could do it because they have a lot of archival footage of.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill.
And Mark Hamill's still alive, so nobody would make a stink about it.
I guess.
But I'm calling it. It's kind of out there, but I'm calling it, so you heard it here first.
Oh yeah, they can't think about Carrie Fisher because she died after it came out.
Yeah, they already shot the whole thing. I mean, there's going to be like a dedicated to Carrie Fisher thing at the credits, but
I feel like that might have screwed up something with episode 9.
I kind of doubt it.
Because they
You
say
can always do. They have considerations for those like old. They had considerations for Harrison Ford when they were doing episode 7.
Oh yeah.
Like, because when they started like filming episode 7, that's when we got that fucking plane crash, and they're like, okay, we should probably have another version of the script where, I mean, Han Solo did die in that movie, but like, you know what I mean, like where they can't fit him in.
Calls up J.J. Abrams like in the hospital in the morning after. He's like, you know how we're doing that Star Wars movie and stuff? Yeah. Well, I almost died in a plane crash.
I lost
And
one
I-
of my fucking
I also
legs in a plane crash.
I've also really, really wanted Han Solo to die this entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, he totally did.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think that was related? He tried to kill himself so that Han
Han
Solo
Solo.
couldn't be in...
Dude, if Harrison Ford dies, it'll be fucking tragic.
It
Han
would be.
Solo, Indiana Jones,
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, fucking... Because they're doing the Blade Runner movie now.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
already
with
done
Ryan
shooting.
Gosling.
He's done shooting that one though.
Oh, really? That movie's done filming?
Yeah,
It's
so...
coming out like this year.
Fuck me, dude.
Did you see
The trailer was excellent.
Yeah.
And I still have not seen...
The first
Blade
Blade Runner,
Runner.
which is fine.
I have it on my computer, and I've been
Just read the book.
waiting.
Just read the book, because
Just
the
watch
book
the
goes a
movie,
lot
too.
more in depth with the Void Comp test.
I didn't know it was based off a book.
You didn't know it was
Android's
based
Dream
off...
of Elect-
yeah,
Do Androids Dream of Electric
by
Sheep.
Philip K. Dick.
Oh shit, really? It's based off that book?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Have you read it?
I think I have.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Philip K. Dick has done a lot of big sci-fi stuff, too.
His last name is Dick.
Yeah. Speaking of sci-fi, 2001: A Space Odyssey, also a good movie.
Grant saw that
Watched-
for the first time.
Yeah, I watched it
While on
yesterday
acid.
while I was
Well,
on
the
acid.
ending.
That
What was
must
the
have been-
ending like?
It must have been fucking intense.
Dude, fuck, I just couldn't move. Like that was the thing. I was in a nice chair, and I just could not fucking move for the life of me. It just overwhelmed me. Like I couldn't. I was saying this to John. Like the scene in which, what are you doing?
Where's my water bottle?
Nice.
I found
Like
it.
the scene in which, like, whenever they'd have like them doing spacewalks or things like that in the Jupiter mission segment, and when they were breathing, like I could, oh my god, my breathing would just start matching up with it, and I just couldn't. Ugh. Because they use a lot of like ambient noise in that movie a
Yeah.
lot, and it just kind of freaked me out. And the scene where like Hal dies, like when he goes in the room, and it's all red tinted. Oh Jesus H Christ!
Oh,
And
Philip
then,
K.
yeah,
Dick.
and watching the Beyond the Infinite part with the big color trip, which went on insanely long.
Oh yeah. When I was listening
God.
to Dark Side of the Moon on acid, like I got to the second song, and I'm like, oh my god, I
I'm
must
gonna
have been
your-
sitting here for like 40 minutes.
It fucks with your time perception.
I look at the clock and it's been 6 minutes.
To be fair,
crazy.
once a song is over like 3 minutes long, it feels like a fucking eternity. That's the thing.
Most of my band's songs are at least 5 minutes.
God, I can't even. I hate that. I hate listening to gigantic ass like. What was that song? MGMT did like a single called like I think it was like Metanoia. And
I
it's
have no
13
idea.
minutes long.
I don't really follow MGMT.
You don't like MGMT?
No, I do like MGMT. I'm just saying I don't follow them.
Because you just clutch everything.
Yeah.
We discussed this, like what our
No,
music tastes are. I'm gonna like more like ambient, like electronics or things like Jake is, and you just clutch all the time, no matter the situation.
I'm branching out now. Okay. I got into Red Fang. I'm rediscovering Black Sabbath. I'm getting into Pink Floyd.
What do you mean by rediscovering Black Sabbath? Like you're just
I've listened to them
listening
before, but now I'm like actively listening to them.
Do you have any spoons down here?
No spoons.
No
Spoons are not allowed in this house.
What's that? My spoon is too big thing.
That's Don Hertzfeld.
Yeah.
From
The-
I can't remember what the band is
best
called.
thing Don Hertzfeld did was that Simpsons intro.
The best thing.
Simpson.
Dude, is he the guy who did that like weird ass movie we watched here and only
It's such
you
a
really
beautiful-
got into it?
It's such a
Fucking
beautiful day.
hated that movie.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Jesus Christ,
I
dude,
love
that
that
movie
movie.
blows.
It's such a beautiful day.
That is the
It's
most
the best movie I've
overrated
ever seen.
piece. Jesus, dude.
It connected with me.
I still haven't seen his other one, World of Tomorrow or whatever.
World of Tomorrow is pretty good too. Not as good as
Dude,
it's
But for real
Fuck
though,
that.
I need a spoon.
ice cream.
There should be one down here. I just don't
One
know where it
spoon.
is.
One spoon down here.
Just go upstairs.
Yeah, I'll go upstairs. And be back.
God only knows when I'll be back.
God only knows.
The Beach Boys.
The
Fucking
Bitch
Pet
Boys.
Sounds is the name of their one of the greatest albums of all time. Is called Pet Sounds. I don't even know where they came up with that.
There's probably
No,
a story behind it.
I was looking up like old album cover shit, and you know the album "Help" by the Beatles.
Sure.
You know, how do you know that album?
No, I do.
Yeah, and you know how they're signing in like semaphore? They're doing the little like they're all having different hand things.
Oh, okay.
So people thought that actually spells out help, but it doesn't. It's NUJV, and it turns out that actually that founded like conspiracy theories that John Lennon had died and they replaced him because that was one of the earliest Beatles albums, and the NUJV stands for New Unknown John Vocalist. It's like what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you gotta be kidding me here.
But is there a story behind those letters, or
Wait, why it's not help?
yeah?
Because apparently when they did help,
It
like
didn't
when they
look
actually
good?
didn't look good, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know.
Okay. It don't look good. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm back, by the way. I found this.
I don't know. I don't really care for the Beatles that much.
Is that the ice cream Brad put into the fridge?
No, he put Leah's ice cream in the fridge. This is my idea.
We're like, Brad, put this away, and he's like, okay, and he
So-
puts it in the fridge, and that was when we all did acid, and he was the only sober one.
Yeah, Brad was our
It's
like,
he was the sober
Christ,
one.
Brad was our sober chaperone, and Leah was eating ice cream, and she asked him to go put it in the fridge because she was like comatose on the couch,
Yeah.
and he put it in the fridge.
I remember Brad had a bottle, like a brown bottle. I was like, Jesus, Brad, you drinking a beer? He's like, no, sir, this is club soda or something like that. It's like,
It was cola.
just
He
laughed
said
my ass
it was
off.
cherry
It was
cola.
cherry cola. I laughed my ass off the way he said it. Couldn't handle it.
No, sir, this is cherry cola.
Oh, no, sir, this is cherry cola.
We watched the Big Brain Futurama episode. Like,
Oh,
No.
that was
as soon
watching-
as
right when it
Archer?
started to kick in.
yeah,
so it
as
was
soon-
really weird.
As soon as that,
Oh,
like,
for me, it was
like,
when we watched Archer.
No,
we
like-
watched Archer first. And that
Well,
was,
for me, it was when we were watching.
like
Futurama.
5 minutes in, like I didn't feel anything. You guys were like, "Oh, I'm tripping out so hard," and I was like sitting there, like I don't feel a thing.
Oh, I
and
was
as soon as that
fucked by
episode started,
Archer.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
No,
here it goes."
the funniest, absolute funniest moment. So this was New Year's Day, and previous was New Year's Eve, where John had drank like half a case of Hams.
and blacked
So
out, and I was still drunk in the
Hams was
morning.
on his mind.
I was
okay?
still drunk
He
in
was,
the morning,
It
by
was
the way.
burned into his fucking brain. Okay, and during that episode, it's like them at like a pet show, and it's Leela bringing Nibbler around the pet show, and she's like feeding him whole hams. And whenever she say hams, John would just be like, "Ugh."
No,
and
no
then,
hams.
I can't see hams. And then literally after he says that, it cuts to a shot of a kid with a fucking balloon in the shape of a pig, and John just loses it. It was amazing.
That was a really good episode to watch, like high too, because it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
really weird.
Fucking
Yeah,
Like,
halfway
last
through the episode, the brains make them all stupid, and I didn't really catch what was going on, so I thought my brain was getting fucked up.
No, it kicked it for me at the Archer episode because the way the backgrounds are on that show,
Oh, yeah.
the weird like paintings and shit, like how it's like, oh my god, it was fucked. It
In
was
the
so
episode we
hard.
watched, one dude had acid-laced
Breath strips, yeah.
breath strips. Yeah.
Literally, the fucking chick on that show eats acid-laced gummy bears like religiously, like it's crazy.
Oh, and he talks about how they're absorbed through the skin, and then he picks one up, and he's
Ah,
like, "Oh
he
shit!"
just plays it,
And he walks around like shirtless the rest of the episode.
No, No, I was saying best 3 characters on Archer. All characters can just go fuck off. It's Archer, Pam, and Krieger.
Well, that's the one where they do the what's it called? The Clockwork Orange, like
Ludovico.
the
chick.
Ludovicos
The
on that one
modified
guy, and
Ludovico.
he gets really obsessed with rabbits and
Oh, yeah.
lettuce. That one was a really good episode.
I don't really watch Archer. I've tried and I can't get into it.
Then we watched the one where he gets breast cancer.
That show's hilarious just for the jokes they make. Like, the weird, obscure, like, references, and, like, Archer being such an ass is just so lovable. You can't not like it.
I think the main character is one thing that puts me off.
Or
Just because he's like it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be an asshole. I know he's supposed to be an asshole, but like, I'm kind of sick of watching stuff where like the main character's an asshole and he's funny, but he's like really.
How the hell do you like
attractive and he's
Always
really
Sunny?
cool. Always Sunny.
Always
is-
Sunny, they're all assholes. They're
I-
horrible
but
human beings.
That's great. Because they're all assholes, not just one of them.
I don't know. It's a really good episode.
I don't really watch Archer.
Watch it. It's really good.
I don't really watch Archer. 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 I don't really watch
I know a couple people were like, their argument against not liking it is that they think that Archer should sound like this really suave, like James Bond style character, but it's like John H. Benjamin instead.
No, I think that's pretty funny actually.
What?
That he
like
does.
they're completely different looking like people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think my favorite H. John Benjamin thing is when he recorded a jazz album, and like he doesn't know, and he plays piano on it, but he does not know how to play piano at all, so it sounds like shit. Like the piano is just like it sounds, it's awful. And I forget the name of the album, but it's like I wish. It's like I wish or something, and then there's like an asterisk next to it, and then on the bottom in like the tiniest text possible is the asterisk. It says learned how to play the piano. It's like I wish I learned how to play the piano. That's great. Jesus H. Christ, dude.
We just ate a bunch of wings and burgers and fries, so
you
I
guys
guess.
You guys ordered a burger and like 12 wings.
I ordered.
Yeah.
Oh my god, 18 wings and a large order of onion rings.
Yeah, John
I think
ordered
very
like fries, 12 wings, and a burger.
It was.
I
Yeah,
ate about
was
half of it.
hungry as hell.
John, yeah, we were planning on going to D Spot tonight, and we all planned it up. Then John texted us at like 5, and he's like, "Oh,
I
I'm
need to
hungry.
go
We're
right
going
now."
now."
Jesus.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go, and then you have to pick me up. So we still got there at the same time. We were
Well,
planning
good
on
thing,
going.
good thing I wanted to leave then.
Yeah. I figured I'd have a car at that point, but yeah, because I'm just visiting, I don't have my car.
Robbie,
Robbie.
was there anything about Rogue One that popped out to you that was like, huh?
Dude, when the Death Star like the effects they had for like the fucking like tidal wave of rocks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I love that. That was pretty awesome. But well, how they explain that the Death Star has that like flaw where I thought that was like really smart.
Yeah.
Because that kind of bothered me in the fourth movie. I was like, why would they spend all this time into making this Death Star?
And there's just
to
a
have...
big hole in it that leads right to the heart of
Yeah.
it that will blow it up.
And so that kind of made me happy that they did that.
People got mad online about that too.
Why? That's good.
No, they're like, oh, it adds to the sense of fun, cartoonish adventure to the fourth one, and it's like, what? That's a stupid plot hole.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's a fun, cartoony romp. Now that it's explained, now it's just like, oh, it makes sense now. That sucks.
What the fuck you talk about?
But people criticized Rogue One about explaining why the Death Star had the exhaust port weakness. Because they thought it detracted from the cartoony, fun-filled romp adventure that Star Wars is supposed to be.
Wait, they thought that was a plot hole, like, before they realized... Oh, so Rogue One, like, retconned it into making it, like, a purpose design flaw?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know.
They're idiots. Everyone online is an idiot.
Everyone online? Yeah, you're not...
Well, no, everyone online that disagrees with me is an idiot. Anyone that agrees with me is a bro.
It's bro.
It's a bro.
They're bro, dude.
It just reminds me, I think, like, a lot of people online are idiots, but I feel like people on Poll are actually some of the wittiest people I've ever seen because they make just jokes like that. And Poll are, like, the masters of first post, best post on 4chan.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember. So recently there was this news story. It's really racist, but, like,
Cool.
It's a news story about these 4, like, black kids, like, kidnapped, like, a disabled kid.
I saw that video.
And, like, basically tortured him.
That pissed
It
me
was
off.
fucking horrifying
It's
and
pretty fucked
an
up.
actual hate crime.
Yeah.
And it was a thread on 4chan, and the topic was like, oh, how long of sentences should these kids get? First post was like, I doubt any of them are smart enough to complete a whole sentence.
Holy shit.
And that was amazing. And like, yeah, that kind of shit is. I just think Poll are like amazing at that kind of shit.
4chan community loves to encourage cleverness.
Oh yeah.
They deal with tragedy with humor.
They deal with everything with humor.
Well,
Everything. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like personally dealing with tragedy with like humor isn't bad.
John, what's your least favorite board
Yeah.
on 4chan?
My least favorite board on
Or you
4chan.
just hate? 'Cause I don't mind. Because I really hate like R9K. I think it sucks ass. I think the people there are just the worst human beings on the face of the planet because they're just so mind-numbingly depressing. Oh man,
I have to ruminate on it for a little bit.
Ruminate?
Ruminate.
Isn't that the process of a cow digesting things?
That's one of the definitions.
That's one of the definitions. What are the other definitions?
The other definition is like to think deeply about something.
Nice. So your cow stomach in your brain is
I don't know.
churning about.
The 4 chambers of John's brain
The 4chan.
I also really don't
firing
like
on all
TV.
cylinders.
Like TV is actually kind of funny, but like I hate the community of TV.
If you want to talk about community, I hate the Mew community. MU.
Mew
Yeah.
sucks ass.
They have bad taste in music.
No, they have contrarian taste in music. It's
Oh yeah.
like
No,
every
like-
board on 4chan.
I think Mew is the most contrarian board.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like music isn't good if other people like it. You have to be the only person that likes it. And then
You have
it's
to
just-
like the most obscure thing ever, and if another human being has listened to it, you might as well throw them in the
If a
trash.
band
Yeah.
has made any money in their entire career, they're bad.
fucking
Is there even
sellouts.
a remotely popular band that they like by consensus, or like?
I haven't been on there in a while, so I really wouldn't know. They like
Don't they like Death Grips?
Yeah, well,
Don't they have a huge hard on?
There's
Anthony
like
Fantano and like the
half
Neil
of them
Young?
like Death Grips and half of them hate Death Grips. So, but
I feel like that's kind of like also a lot of people who just listen to Death Grips in
Actually-
general. A lot of people just hate it, and a lot of people really like it.
Neutral Milk Hotels in the airplane over the sea. It's a meme on there, but the general consensus I gleaned from you was that they think it's good. So
I hate that fucking guy's voice.
I love that album. I'm sorry.
Pretty
It
good.
drives me insane. It's not the album; it's just the guy's voice.
I think it's the best part.
What?
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
filled.
even sound good at all.
It does sound good. Your opinion's wrong. Mine is right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. You can't change it.
I mean, my opinion might be wrong, but I base my opinions on the facts.
You got me there.
I got you by a logical snag. I don't know. I'm just still thinking about first ever YouTube videos because we were talking about that.
I don't know what the first video I watched. I remember the first stuff I watched on YouTube was like Dragon Ball Z, Linkin Park AMVs.
Yeah.
I used to get really into those.
I used to just watch. The first stuff I watched like pretty rigorously on YouTube was like machinimas and some of the when some of the people
Fucking
started
Master Chief sucks at
when
Halo
some of the
3.
people started moving from like Newgrounds and stuff onto YouTube.
Oh,
and
yeah.
making like cartoons and stuff on YouTube.
I think that's what got me onto YouTube.
Yeah,
in the first
Machinimas
place.
for sure
The move from
was-
Newgrounds
yeah.
onto
That was
YouTube.
big.
Machinima was for sure like the big thing that got me there and kept me there, and then I started watching like when people started moving to Newgrounds because I used to go on Newgrounds for a while, and then like they kind of started like declining in like new content.
I'm trying to think of what I went on first, if it was YouTube or Addicting Games.
It was definitely addicting games
Yeah.
for me. I remember playing that.
I played
in, like,
Miniclip
second
so
grade.
much more. Like I played Miniclip almost every day in like early
Miniclip.
middle school.
What was the
I
big
always
one on
hated
Miniclip?
Miniclip because it looked like crap.
Miniclip also
I
wouldn't
mean,
work in
I'm-
high school.
It had some decent games on there. Like I played
It had Commando 2, and that game is the shit.
I played Motherload for like fucking
Motherload's pretty-
ridiculous amounts of time.
Pretty damn good.
I think the games I played were the Stickman Sniper games.
Oh yeah.
I played like
Clear
all
Vision.
of those. The Escape the Room games, although I never figured any one of them out by
Escape
myself.
the Phone Booth sucks ass.
I
It's
al-
the hardest one in the whole series.
With those games, I would always just look up the guide immediately. And so just go through the guide. I played. You ever played Whack Your Boss?
Oh yeah.
I remember one where it's like your boss it's like an animated one. It's not really a game, it's more like a point and click adventure sorta. And it's like you are in a cubicle and you basically your boss just comes in and talks to you and then you click on random
Whack
items
Your
and you
Boss.
just fucking murder him with it.
That's Whack Your Boss.
I remember I used to in like
It's good, yeah.
end of elementary school. I
Remember
used
the
to
one where
play-
he kills the guy with the water cooler? He takes the jug off and shoves it into his mouth.
I remember
Horrifying.
I used to play the Think games games at the end.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
In the end of like elementary
Think
school,
Thing.
and I was like, man, this is
Think
so
Thing
badass.
Arena.
This is the most intense shit you've ever
God,
seen. in
stick
your
figures are
life.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Look at all this blood.
Look at all
these
gore, dude.
cards.
No man, stick figure death chamber or stick
stick figure torture chamber and
Yeah.
I
I can only ever find the second one.
Stick
That's
figure
so
know if
suicide
there was
and
the
stuff.
first one.
Like the stick figure suicide where you just clicked an option and it just showed like a flash video of them like driving off a cliff or something.
Did you guys ever play the?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play the torture game where it's like it's not a stick figure, it's like a real person? It looks like.
No.
That one was pretty sick.
Interactive Buddy was basically a torture game.
Oh, Interactive
Click
Buddy.
to explode, and you click so many times your computer lags out.
Yeah.
No, what was I gonna say? You could make scripts in that game, and I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that.
There was something you could buy. You could buy like JavaScript access or whatever.
That's actually really
And then
interesting.
it would open up a thing where you can type your own code. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I took this code that I can't remember what the hell it did. Fuck.
Man, remember Super Crazy Guitar Maniac 2?
Oh, Super Crazy Guitar Maniac Deluxe 2!
The only song I remember on that was Hollywise by
That's
Black
because
Top
it's the
Manhattan.
easiest one.
Superman!
killing him down tonight. Hollywise.
What the shit? That song about like using drugs, right?
Anybody who's played that game will recognize it.
That was that song for like nostalgia's sake. I remember like just music like in old games and shit. I remember I sent my brothers a fucking like it was a picture of the first like stage in Tony Hawk Pro Skater Underground, the one on N64, and I just had in big bold letters, "Here I am doing everything I can." Remember that game? Because that was the music. It was Goldfinger.
Oh,
Here I am.
I don't think I played that game.
That game was
That's
fun as shit.
Superman, isn't it? That
It's
song?
Superman by Goldfinger.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Goldfinger's the
Yes.
artist, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that
It's
game
nice,
was
alright.
What game was it? Punkomatic.
Punko.
You guys play Punkomatic?
What the hell is Punkomatic?
It was like this. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a music making game on
You're
Newgrounds,
making punk music.
and you can make punk music. Like you get a drummer, a guitarist, a bassist. I think there were only 3. Yeah, a drummer, a guitarist, and a bassist, and then it had different riffs you could cycle through. So like 9 riffs for the drummer, like 12 riffs for the guitarist, a bunch of riffs for the bassist, stuff like that. But they were all in the same key, so no matter what you put, it would still sound fairly decent.
Man, you remember,
Anyway, that was fun. It was a simple little
Did
game.
you ever
that
get
I spent
enough
hours
people
on.
to play a full game of Territory War?
I didn't really play that
Tech
game.
Ed
a lot.
at college once, or not college, at high school, like Tech Ed class. I got like 6 people all together to play a 3-on-3 game of Territory War.
That's awesome.
Fun as shit, dude. Remember you could boot people?
Oh, yeah.
Weapons, and they could shoot, and then it was the grenade that everyone used, the gun that you could do headshots with, but it had to be like insanely precise, and there was the boot.
Yeah, I always went for the games that were like. Some websites called them like gadgets and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Well, just games that are like, you just mess around and do stuff. You know, like you don't. There's
like
no
a sandbox
objective.
sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of like.
Oh
that.
shit! You never played like, what was it, like Driving Simulator or like fucking? You had to like park your car places.
I played some of those park your car
And
games.
there's- And I remember like the hardest thing to do in that game is parallel park. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a pain in the ass, and it was
So it's
like
the hardest thing in life to do.
if you're like over a line or
Hardest.
something that you're not supposed to be, the fucking instructor will just start going like like saying gibberish almost, but like really angry gibberish, and you can like just keep edging your car over and like over past line, and you'll just be like. And that was really funny when I played that.
You know what's actually harder than parallel parking? 90-degree backing up parking. I don't know what it's called.
When I did my driver's test, the person in front of me doing that thing actually knocked out one of the cones, which was like an automatic fail, and it scared the shit out of me when I did it. But yeah,
I think
I did better at
Did I
parallel
screw up
parking
on
than
that? I can't remember because I failed my test the first time. I can't remember what I screwed up on.
I did too. Apparently, I didn't use my blinker. I thought I did.
You're supposed to look a lot. If you go out of your way to make
Oh, yeah.
to
You gotta-
indicate that you're looking, they like.
Got to look around at intersections. Did I run a stop sign? I can't remember.
Did I run a stop sign?
Did you-
Oh no! I took a left turn from a right-hand lane. I was so nervous.
What?
I took a left turn from
Oh,
a
were you
right-hand
turning off
lane.
a one-way?
No, well maybe it was a one-way, but
Did you do it at like a driving course or like
it was a driving course.
Yeah, over in Arden Hills.
Arden
Hills,
Hills, yeah.
dude. Fuck that! I hate like driving around there in general because a bunch of people taking their test for the first time. Like, jeez, I want you to hit my fucking car.
Just like,
get your
This
license
is like
already,
a
you fucking
DMV,
nerd.
like right in the middle. It's like you have to pass through like the moat of like shitty drivers before you get to that place.
Oh come on, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it can be bad.
They're all
In
driving at
theory.
like 10 miles an hour though, so it's okay.
It's true, yeah. I don't know. I hated doing driver's tests. It scared I practiced parallel parking in the fucking rain. It was like downpouring, and it was it was the day before my test. I was like, shit.
I didn't even care about.
I took my driver's test literally the day after I had. I think it was. Oh my god! It would have been like a sophomore in high school. I think freshman in high school, sophomore high school, and then I took it the day after the last day of school. So that freaked me out. I thought I was free, and then oh shit, gotta take my driver's test.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, very pissed off.
I got my permit. Like I did the driver's ed like in class 1 right away, and I got my even before I turned. Is you all right there, John?
John just
God damn
stood
it.
up to look at how much time was on the recorder, and
Falls
nearly just
over.
fell into the fucking chair.
Take 2.
Um,
Alright, good.
I did the class like really early, so I had to actually wait before I could go in and take the test because I wasn't old enough. And then I got my license like right away, and I was one of the first people because I'm one of the older people in our like grade or our like kind of cohort group. So that was awesome. Patrick and I drove to GameStop the first day I got my license.
Yeah. I wasn't one of those people that wanted to get their license right away. So
Yeah, I had to drive you everywhere. Like,
yeah,
Jake
you
doesn't
and Brad.
even still have his license.
Jake
so,
doesn't
like,
still
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have his
you
license.
Jake, I don't think Jake has even done like behind the wheel.
No, he hasn't.
you didn't
Does
even
he have his permits at least?
No. He doesn't even have a permit. He hasn't taken the
He
classes.
doesn't really need it, to be honest. Like where he's at. Like
Yeah,
I think it's
he lives
hilarious.
close enough to the city where he can
He takes
take
the
buses
bus
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know. And then, dude, I fucking missed sophomore year of high school. I remember in my English class, kids would vape in the back, and that guy would fucking dip tobacco and he would spit into a chocolate milk thing from lunch.
With so many people at our school, there's like, yeah, I like my truck. I
Fucking
like my
Lipski
dip.
in the Lipski. Yeah,
I like
so-
my Fireball
like-
whiskey.
It's like it was like the hockey team. It was like,
Yeah.
see my lifted truck over here takes up 4 spaces. Badass.
Those guys are so fucking gay.
And then you see, you're like, I'm so country, and then they drive home to their like mansions,
Yeah.
basically. They're
To
like,
be fair, I'd
they're
rather have one of their
$3
trucks
million
because I drove a
homes.
minivan to school. So, it happens.
I drove a Saturn, which is fuel efficient and small.
I rode the bus.
I rode the bus. I just ride the bus. I remember driving, so the last like year I rode the bus, we would drive a route right before we went to our neighborhood, and on that route there are like insane ass turns, and like the bus almost like tips. So what people would do is like this one kid who lived, they jump from one side, like attempt to tip the bus over, and this one huge fucking kid. We were doing that one day, and he actually like slammed into the window and fucking cracked it. It was amazing.
No,
It'd have been more perfect.
I've always wanted to get a bus full of people and have everyone go on one side
And try to tip it over.
and try to tip the fucking bus over.
Why would you ever want that? Because then you're on that
'Cause we
side
can
and
do
you're
it.
just slam right into the fucking ground.
I know we could do it if we could get everybody on one side. It would tip over.
You know, you just have to have them all move over to one side in one motion.
Oh,
in
there-
a turn.
There's a bunch of speed bumps in my neighborhood, and
Yeah.
the bus would always go down that street, and the dude would never like slow down on the speed bumps. So the people sitting in the back would always fly up like a couple inches.
Oh yeah, I
Every
remember we
speed
used to
bump you
have
hit.
tons of potholes on the road. We drive back and you just there was one. It had a warning bump too, where like it was the pothole before the big one, and so every kid knew when it was gonna. It was just like boom, 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 and it was just like this huge one. And if you timed it right, you would fly up
Oh,
right
yeah.
out of your
You
seat.
can hit the ceiling from bumps and shit.
I know if you're in the very back of the bus, it's
Yeah.
the most
where,
effect.
where all the cool kids
Oh,
sit.
yeah.
The one person seat.
In the shit, the one person seat.
Yeah.
Greatest badass of elementary school sat in the one person seat. It's true.
I remember people always peed in the back of our bus.
What the fuck? What? Just on the floor?
Like
Jesus Christ.
next to that one person's seat, or like behind the one next to it.
They just.
They would just pee on the
Dude,
floor.
someone in our bus,
like they kept
when
doing
I was
it.
in
It smelled really bad.
When I was in 8th grade, someone we always hated the 7th graders in their bus because they were annoying little shits. So one day, some kid had like a box of Runts, like the hard candy, and we just started fucking hurling them at the 7th graders, and then they'd pick them up and throw it back. It would be like plinking off the back side of the bus. So it was like fucking Vietnam, like us throwing, like diving behind the seats and throwing Runts while it's bouncing off every surface. It was amazing. Fuck, I was riding the bus. Yeah, just a little bit.
Our bus always smelled like pee, so because people kept peeing in it.
It's
And
like on the
they
bus.
would try to clean it, but you could still smell it.
Jesus Christ, dude! Like,
I remember one dude. What did he throw out the window? It wasn't a rock, but it was like.
some kid threw a fucking.
I think it was his
paintball out a
lunchbox.
window.
I think it was like his lunchbox or some shit.
People
Some kid
threw flower babies.
He threw it out the window.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and it,
Oh shit, dude!
he threw his lunchbox out the window, and it hit a car in front of us and made a dent in their hood.
Someone was throwing fucking rotten strawberries at oncoming cars out of when I was in elementary school. And the kid was in like 5th grade, and I was in like 2nd grade. And I distinctly remember him throwing fucking like dirty ass, like 5-day-old lunchbox strawberries at incoming cars on their hoods and shit.
People would always throw their flower babies out the window when they were done with them.
God.
Yeah.
For context, a flower baby was a school project where you had to wrap a bag of flour and a 1 pound bag
Literally
of flour,
no points.
2 pound bag of flour. I don't know how big it was. In duct tape, and then put a baby face on it, and then it teaches you about parenthood because you got to walk around with it for weeks.
They would grade you by testing how soft your bag was at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Basically, I remember I dropped mine down the stairs at the school, and I realized there was a soft part, so I just wrapped more duct tape around that part, and it made it harder, and it was fine. I got
Couldn't you just make a replacement bag at that point? Like,
Yeah,
Luke-
why didn't you just like fuck off and then
it
the
was
last
the dumbest project in history.
I remember I tried to make a thong out of duct tape on mine, and she kept telling me to stop, and I would just add more the next day.
Because that was in facts, right? That
Yeah.
was the course.
Family and
consumer
science.
computer science.
Family
Family and computer
You're
science.
learning the code also.
They taught us about money.
Jake-
and
Jake got
families.
yelled at by his teacher because he drew like a mustache or something on his baby. Like
No
already-
fun.
he got
No
points off.
fun
Yeah,
allowed.
He legitimately got points
You
off.
told
for
me
it.
about it. That was fucking-
And Luke, his flower baby, like he said immediately after he got out of the class with it, he went to like a stairwell,
Mhm.
and he was gonna throw it down to his friend, and his friend was like, "Yeah, dude, throw it. I'll catch it." Right when he throws it, the dude backs up, and he's like, "Oh, I guess he was fucking with him. He obviously missed it on purpose, and the thing exploded everywhere."
Dude, I dropped mine down the stairs at the middle school one time. Those like hard, like tile stairs, and it was
Yeah.
fine.
Do you remember when Tim had like we were like walking from lunch, and Tim had a fucking meter stick, and I had no idea where like a yardstick, and he started punching. He started like popping out the ceiling tile.
Popping out the ceiling
It
tiles.
was amazing. Like I don't even know what
Oh
became
my
of
God.
it.
I just remembered, like every day after lunch, I would take my empty milk carton
Yeah, and blow them up.
and blow it up in the hallway.
Yeah.
Just
It's
fold,
so loud.
you close it, fold the top down, and you just
I
slam
never
it with
had
your
this
foot,
many
and it makes a huge pop.
shenanigans when I was in middle school.
Also, in 7th grade, I got pizza every day. Pepperoni
Oh
pizza.
yeah, I remember that
every
you got
day.
pizza every single day.
Dude, in high school, you would get chicken patties every day.
Well, yeah, but that's high school.
Dude, Reese's peanut butter cookies were.
I had that
the
janitor
bomb.
in like 8th grade who used to punch me at lunch every day. I don't-
You just walk by and donkey punch you in the
Dude,
back of
No,
your
middle
he
school
just walked by
lunches?
and like hit me on the back of the head or like punched me in the shoulder, and I had no idea why.
And middle school lunches were way better than high school
Oh,
lunches.
yeah,
Dude, I remember when I was in
definitely.
elementary school also, the breadsticks were like rock hard. Like
Yeah.
insane. Like
Yeah.
kids would
People
try
with
and
them.
break them over the fucking edge of the lunch table to see if they could do it. It's hilarious watching a bunch of like 8-year-old kids like slamming breadsticks on like the edges of the lunch table.
At our I went to a different elementary school than you guys did, but there was a big hill in the back of our school on the playground, and they used to let us bring sleds there, but they had to be these like roll-up sleds that were like literally just plastic or styrofoam sheets. And they were like, no, these are the safest sleds you can buy. Like, you'll be fine. Even though
What?
those are the ones that if you, like, ran over a bump, it would just break your kneecaps off.
No, man.
Multiple people broke their legs riding those things. And people would... So there was a really steep hill, and you would always ride down, and then always assholes would come and just bomb you. Like, go straight at you and slam at you. And people would get their feet knocked out under them, fly forward, slam their face on the ground, and knock all their teeth out. Like, people actually knocked their teeth out, and they were just like, no, it's fine, it's safe. This is great.
Safe.
Wait, did I ever tell you guys about my recess the year we had the snow fort Cold War?
No.
Where, so we had 2 snow forts. Okay, Luke was in charge of one of the snow forts, which was basically just a giant mound. It had no structure. It was just a big mound of snow. And the other kids, it was like 5 other kids in the group. Luke had like 10 people in his group. It was 5 other kids, and they had like a nice, neat built one with like it was circular. It had like a nice wall. But the people, like the paras, and like said that we couldn't throw snowballs at each other. That was against the rules. So basically, what happened is it just became an arms race of who could build the better fort and who could acquire more territory and shit. And right in the middle was like between the forts. They were pretty far apart. It was like a no man's land with this gigantic ass patch of ice that was like a fucking hazard. And they would salt the damn thing. It would not go away. And it was the perfect scenario because it just escalated, and they would talk shit to each other at lunch right before recess, and then we just sit in the forts and like just glare at each other and send envoys and shit over. It was perfect. God, I miss the snow fort.
We used to play football in like foot deep snow, and we could only move at like a mile per hour, so it'd be like the slowest games of football ever. And we would always try to play tackle whenever the pairs weren't looking. So there was like a guy who was like, "All right, you're good to tackle," and then they would.
We once played
look out.
Crack the whip when the pairs weren't looking.
Oh yeah.
Fucking crack the whip is one of the most dangerous things that elementary school kids could ever do. Holy shit!
I don't know what that is.
Crack the whip is when you get a big line of people, and you all like lock arms and stuff, and then you all just start running in a circle with one person kind of like standing and shuffling, and the person at the end like will lift off the ground. And it's super fucking dangerous because if that second to last person in line lets go, that kid will go flying. It's amazing.
Sounds awesome.
But you have to get tons of people to do it, or else it's no fun.
Did we play wall ball too? Wall ball was nuts. I love
Wall ball.
You never played wall ball, dude?
I never
Wall ball was
understood
like
Toss a ball at a wall. That's all you do.
I understood that. Wall ball was hardcore at our school. Basically,
That's the game where if you fuck up, you have to run and touch the wall before someone grabs it.
It's if you touch it, and then if you touch it and you drop it, you have to like go hit the wall, and if you catch it before it bounces, then the person who threw it's out. Yeah.
I remember
we
people
played
would
that
put
in school,
dodgeballs in front of the swings, and then you'd see who would kick it the farthest with a nice down shot. So it's like target practice.
Did you guys have at the playgrounds at your elementary schools? Did you have swings in like a sandbox?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would jump off the swings.
Me and Robbie went to the same elementary school, and at our school,
I've been to your playground before.
Yeah, there's a sandbox there, and we would always see who could jump farthest.
Like a long
and
jump
the sandbox goes out like, what do you think, like 10 feet?
Yeah.
More than 10 feet, 15 feet?
You almost put the ice cream in the fridge.
So you would get a method down of like pumping just the right rhythm to get super high.
You could max out to where it would like swing back, and then you would
almost. Yeah.
I remember
you could almost swing all the way around. But I remember one time I jumped out of that sandbox. I jumped out of that sandbox.
Amazing. I remember I hated like when you get super high on the swings because then you almost lift off the seat and then you slam back down and you feel like the whole thing's just
and then in like 5th grade or 4th or 5th grade, they started doing new rules about you can't swing that high. What?
How are you gonna enforce
that? And so that just made us swing higher. That just motivated us more.
Oh yeah, I remember. You know what Graham was talking about, where like the swing would come down and like slam.
Yeah.
I remember I would try and do that as hard as I possibly could, and like the whole thing would shake
the whole.
And people would get pissed off.
Oh my god, people would get so pissed when people fucking on the swings. God, I hate that.
I think I enjoyed elementary school the most.
Because we didn't do shit.
Yeah, no one did play in elementary
It was literally
school.
just like playing.
Well, and I had a shit ton of friends, and like everybody knew me.
Oh.
I was a celebrity, dude.
If you were
I was the man who leaped
in
past
elementary
the
school. If you
sandbox.
could run really fast, you were really popular.
Yeah, but I couldn't run fast.
The mile. Did you guys ever do the mile stuff?
I'm pretty sure in elementary school I did the mile in like 11 minutes. 11 and a half minutes or something like that. But then in high school, I think my fastest time was like 8 minutes.
I don't even remember. I can't even. That's so distant for me.
I suck at long distance running.
A lot of people also suck at long distance running. It's a pain in the ass. Not a fan.
You remember Mr. Peterson, our gym teacher?
Yeah.
I just remembered one time we were playing trench or something, and once in a while he would, if like some kid wouldn't get out or like they'd stand way in the back, he'd come in and like whip balls at him just to get him out. And I remember he
whipped him hard.
I remember I think he hit some kid in the face once. It was just like bam, and the kid like fell down.
Do you remember the gym guy in high school who's a big fat ass? He had to ride around on a golf cart.
Oh yeah.
No.
It just blows my mind. Like gym teachers who were like insanely overweight.
Oh,
it seems to be almost the norm. Like, you know.
I remember I had a really embarrassing moment in track and field in elementary school one time. We did this track and field event at the high school. And it wasn't something I wanted to do, but the teacher pretty much made me do it. But it was I don't know what it was like some long distance running thing.
Yeah.
And I sucked at long distance running. I'm like, I'm not gonna be good at this. And she's like, do it anyway. Okay, whatever. And I was literally the last person. I was more than a full minute behind the person in front of me. People were. It was so fucking embarrassing, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, I remember Jake Joseph just like passed out. Remember that? He was like running and he just fell over.
I don't remember.
I think it was
a ski lift.
I think I tried to block out most of the day after that.
Club or something.
Dude, so you know our friend Patrick.
Yeah.
So remember when we went, or did you guys go to Trollhog or go to?
God damn it! I can't believe this happened for the second time in a row.
Nice.
John,
we ran out of disk space again.
Not preparing for podcast.
I put a different SD card in there.
I think you're just revealing the shit nature of the room. We don't have like professional mics or anything like that. Like
we did for a while, and then Jake's fucking.
Yeah, Jake has an actual professional mic that we use for a few episodes, but he's not here right now.
I still remember the day.
He's in the great beyond.
How's the perplexing orb perplexing you, Robbie?
It's perplexing.
It's pretty perplexing, isn't it?
Oh my god, that thing is just. I think I got myself. I like ordered myself that, and I forgot that I had ordered it, so when it came in the mail, I was like, "Wow, cool!" And I played. I was like, "Jesus, God, this thing is impossible."
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
What kind of sadist comes out with this bullshit?
What the heck are you guys talking about? I can't see what you're talking about because I'm just listening to audio.
Well, shut up.
What the fuck is a perplexus?
Fuck you, dude.
Well, Robbie,
it's
botched it.
It's a big orb with a marble track in it, and you try to like spin the orb in a way and get it to go through the marble track.
It's one of those puzzle games that your weird uncle buys you.
Your weird uncle buys you?
No, I have this uncle who always buys me stuff like that. It's actually kind of cool.
Dude, there was a video
like
I
puzzles
saw.
And shit.
It was a channel. Dude, it was a channel on YouTube, and it was a guy that just reviews. He just talks about puzzles. And he goes to the solutions of puzzles, and he talked about this puzzle. It was called the Xbox puzzle. And it was like a cube, and the way you had to, and it had a cipher on it. So once you solve the cipher, you have to use the powers of the people on the other sides. There's other words on each side, and to spell the word forceful into the box. And each side was an X-Man. So one of them was Cyclops, and on the side there was a hole, and if you shined a laser through it, it would display a letter. Oh. And then one was for Surge. And you had to take like a paper clip and touch ends to different screws, and it would make another letter, like make a current. One was put ice next to it, and then it would, because it was Bobby Drake, so it was the ice.
Put ice next to it?
Yeah, and it was.
What does
like
that do?
Cold. It was like a cold sensor, temperature sensor, and then it would display a letter. One was Jean Grey, so telekinesis, so you'd hold it upside down and you could see a letter.
One was Wolverine, elaborate. And you had to stab a bunch of knives into it.
You had to coat your body in coat your skeleton in adamantium.
Yeah.
And then only then would you unlock the secret of the Xbox. It was pretty. So the actual like payoff is really dumb, but I thought it was really good.
Do you know what the channel name is?
Fleb.
Fleb. As it's spelled.
And then I also
Is it spelled-
FLEB.
Okay, F.
I remember. I also just started watching the Grand Illusions thing, where it's that one old guy, and he's just doing a bunch of like he's playing all these weird toys and stuff.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a video of him where he has like this tube that's filled with these like collapsible snake-looking things, and they're like springs. When you open the tube up, they all just like fly out. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah. Like
and there's a video of him opening one up, and it's just tons of it coming out, and then it's Gordon Ramsay going like, "You put all these noodles in the bin" or something like that. I don't know. I thought it was funny. What is the deal with the Gordon Ramsay lamb sauce thing? Like, is that an actual clip, or are they just putting
I don't
lamb
know.
sauce?
That's a normie meme, so I can't get into it.
There's. Did you ever? I found this channel the other couple months ago.
I saw at a Chuck E. Cheese they used it was a picture of a Chuck E. Cheese like thing for like tokens, and they used the fucking evil Kermit meme, where it was Chuck E. Cheese instead of Kermit.
It
was awful.
I saw this. I've been watching this one channel, or I found him a couple months ago, and I watched some of their videos. Which is this guy who makes like these giant tracks on the beach and races marbles down them.
Yeah, those are really cool.
They're really awesome. And he commentates them all. He puts up a poll at the beginning. He was like, "Who do you think's gonna win?" And he has all these different colors and stuff. Those are awesome. I love those.
God dang.
They're like super fucking long too. They last like 5 minutes.
No, yeah.
They're intense.
Did you guys ever remember there was like a magician guy on YouTube, and he wore like a Guy Fawkes V for Vendetta mask? And he would like do weird like illusions and stuff, and one of them was he took his mask off and his hood was still there, and it was just blackness.
Did he mind freak you?
No, maybe.
It was basically like a mind freak thing.
It was just...
I am the mind freak.
Mind freak.
There's no reality. Are you ready?
Wasn't one of them like a crane?
Fucking Chris
lifting
Angel.
him up.
Yeah.
And it was just him.
No, he
levitating?
literally just fakes it.
Yeah.
Like at least half of them are just faking it.
No, man, it's an illusion.
But there is one trick where it was like an early one, where he like digs a quarter out of his arm. I still don't know how he does it.
Well, that's a David Blaine trick too, right? Where he puts like a skewer into his arm.
It's
the
that's
whole
different.
idea.
That's
he like
different.
sticks something through his hand, and then they X-rayed it, and it's like actually like.
There's actually a hole in his
Nice.
hand. Or was it a hole, or was it just like a big indent?
People just sticking things.
Well, no,
into
he
you.
would pull it out, and there wouldn't be a hole or blood or anything.
Yeah, no,
Right.
David Blaine, it's like a flesh tunnel. It's
Yeah.
the idea that you can basically form a cavity in like part of your arm where you basically blood won't like flow through it or something. Something weird.
Like
So you
gauging,
can,
gauging your ears. That same kind of thing, kind of.
I guess.
Although
I don't know.
with your hand.
Except or
Although
with
through your
a
fucking
skewer,
arm.
a skewer
Yeah.
through your arm.
Just
yeah.
gauge your
So
arm.
yeah, there's a video.
But that's
of,
how it works.
There's a video of David Blaine doing that with Ricky Gervais, and Ricky Gervais is just
yeah.
like losing it.
No, he does it with Will Smith too.
No.
It's the same video.
Yeah, and
Does Will Smith react like a lot of black people do to magic tricks? Like lose their minds?
You fucking racist.
What they do? White people are like, oh, that's amazing, and black people just lose their.
Black people like
minds.
move all. They like jump all over the place. They're like, oh man,
Not
oh man,
handle.
holy crap!
Kind of
stomping
like a monkey.
Like how a monkey would.
God Almighty.
They stand up and just stomp all over.
No,
the
but
place.
I'm not racist. I love you people.
I was thinking of like shoving items in there and getting X-rayed. I was thinking of that Jackass stuff where they shove a toy car up the guy's ass, and then he goes to the doctor and gets X-rayed. The doctor's mystified. He cannot fathom what just happened. It just blows my mind. What?
The Jackass guys.
Jackass.
They shouldn't have made it out of middle school.
I would have done the stunt where he rides the fire hose.
Rides the fire hose.
They're like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a hanging fire hose, and he grabs onto it, and they put it on full blast, and he's flying around on it. It's amazing. That would have been fun. I'd have done that. I don't know. John, you see like a guy who like gets strapped inside of a fucking a urinal? Or not a urinal.
A porta potty.
Porta potty.
Yeah.
Launched up.
I'd love getting covered in shit. That's my favorite.
we should slit or paper cut the parts in
No.
between our fingers.
Mm-mm.
What?
No.
That's one of
There
the
was
things.
they did a thing where they just paper cut the webbing in between their fingers.
yeah.
God, why?
Because it's
so
Jackass.
bad.
Why would you?
People pay
What
them
was
to
the
do it.
movie we watched where the guy uses paper cutting as like a torture technique? It was Exam. Remember the Exam movie where all the people are like taking an exam?
Did he torture?
And
Somebody torture
there's a scene where one of the guys is torturing like this one chick and he swears she knows, and he takes a piece of paper because they all have exam paper, and he's able to like precisely do it and do an insane cut on her like thigh.
That was a cool movie. It's one of those little movies.
It's so dumb.
It's one of those little movies that you just stumble onto and you're like, that wasn't terrible.
So
that had good parts.
I'm super gonna spoil this movie because it's got a really, really kind of dumb ending and explanation to it.
Well, what movie?
The Exam.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
But basically the whole exam. So skip for like, well, I don't know.
Well, I'm
Don't
not.
listen if you care about this movie.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You should. It's not very good.
It's
anyway.
it's a pretty.
You'll probably
alright.
enjoy it if you check it out. But anyway.
Yeah.
Basically, the exam is that they're looking for somebody to help them develop these bullets that heal wounds instead
It's
of
like ultra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he shoots the guy.
No,
and he's
the
fine.
second I saw that, I was like, that was a red versus blue joke. Like that Sarge said that our guns shoot pellets that heal all.
They were
wounds
developing
instead
bullets that heal people.
Yeah,
I don't think they were
shot-
developing the bullets, but I mean,
No, they
it was
shot. So they shot a guy
It was
and he
like
like
healing
dies,
bullets.
and then he
Yeah.
gets up and he's like, "Oh, I'm actually healed."
But yeah, like that's the best delivery method is via bullet.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, and then I was thinking, like, wait, that was a red versus blue joke, just like Sarge being like, hey, no, now this is it's opposite day, and now our guns shoot pellets that heal all wounds.
I think Red vs. Blue was probably the first YouTube series I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any
Either
like
that
other YouTube
or-
series. Maybe like I
No,
mean
it's the
AVGN
it's the
started on
longest
YouTube,
running YouTube series, or like
Okay.
internet series.
Really?
Red
How many
vs. Blue is the
seasons does it
longest
have?
running, 15 or 16.
Holy shit!
Has anyone here seen Snowman Hunters on YouTube?
Yeah.
What?
Fucking
Have you seen Snowman Hunters?
Isn't that
I
one?
thought I watched it with you.
Wait, am I thinking of
Maybe.
the same thing where? No, good.
They build-
explain it.
They build a snowman and then they shoot it with guns.
I've seen this. I've seen it.
Oh,
Yeah.
But there's like a narrative behind it. It's like it's interesting. They each have their own characters. Like there's, I don't know what I'm just gonna call him Sarge. He's like the military guy and the leader, and then he has this like mentally handicapped friend, and I can't remember their names. But like, there's a narrative to it, kind of.
Yeah, I've actually have seen this.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Snowman Hunters.
Right.
That was the first thing I watched on series I watched on YouTube. I think.
I remember.
Check it out. You should.
You were really like trying to
Check
get me
it
to
out.
watch Marble Hornets at one point.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I watched it.
Marble
and I
We
was like,
watched
it's
that
so
all like
dumb.
one night here, didn't we? Or watched as much as we could.
Yeah, we did.
That was
It
kind
was
of
all right.
I got into it.
I didn't really.
It was
like
nice.
I thought it was dumb.
I did not care for the main person. I thought he looked just weird.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't care for the I am the arc or like what was it? What was the thing? Someone arc. It was like a separate channel and it was a person in a mask. And...
It was like the first. That was the thing that like
popularized.
Slenderman, yeah,
Yeah.
and ARGs, internet ARGs in general. Because
Marble
there
Hornets wasn't an ARG, was it?
yeah, they had an ARG element to it.
Then what? I think
Later on, they
I thought it
started
was,
adding stuff.
No, it was because it was to the arc. That was the
Yeah.
separate channel.
Yeah.
That I guess was the only ARG element. That's the only thing.
And if you really want to get into ARGs, another good one is at Everyman Hybrid. Although they suck at acting,
unedited footage
It's
of a
interesting.
bear.
unedited footage of a bear is pretty
It's
good.
excellent. I love that. Man, Adult Swim is like they made some crazy ass shit. Like,
Adult Swim is my favorite TV channel,
really.
or block, or whatever you want to call it.
I've been watching.
You mean Cartoon Network, right?
No.
It
Adult
is
Swim.
all Adult Swim is
Cartoon
basic-
Network is the channel. Adult Swim is the block.
I've been watching Fish Center pretty regularly lately.
I haven't watched Fish.
they, had
really.
a, they had a poll the other a while ago. There was
Wait, because
literally-
Adult Swim, Tim and Eric and Eric Andre, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Adult Swim is great.
Tim Heidecker is actually like a higher up at Adult Swim
Oh yeah,
now.
huge.
Yeah.
Got Sam Hyde show canceled.
Dude, the guys who run Fish Center are actually pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Like they had a poll the other day to ask the audience if they wanted them to kill one of the fish, but they were like, "We're not actually gonna do it. We just want to know if you guys want this fish dead."
Do you think like Sam Hyde is actually funny though, John?
I think
As
it's
a guy
funny.
who likes that kind of abstract humor, because like,
I laugh at his funny jokes.
because that's the thing. Like people were saying like, oh, he's not alt right at all. I guess, like, have you looked at his Twitter? Like
See-
I remember the first time I looked at his Twitter, it was him. It was a giant series of tweets where he was advocating for like female circumcision or female genital mutilation, which is what it actually is.
Well, he's most definitely was not serious about that.
It seemed like he definitely was.
Okay.
On Twitter?
Sam Hyde is like so into that Andy Kaufman kind of thing, where it's like his public persona, he portrays it as his real self. But
then
it's
why
not
would
him.
he call like Tim Heidecker and start what you should?
Because he thinks it's
Andy
funny.
Kaufman did do the same
Because
thing
he thinks
with
it's
Jerry
funny.
Lawler, the wrestler.
That's that. But here's the thing: I'm not sure if that's his shtick because he's never defined it. You can't really be sure about that.
Yeah,
type of
exactly.
thing.
So
But that's the vibe I get from it because he gets so extreme.
I did think the TEDx talk thing that he did was hilarious.
That was performance. That's
That
one of
was
the best
amazing.
things he's ever
That's
done.
easily the best.
He went into Sam Hyde is an internet comedian, funny guy, and funny man. He went into a TED talk. He was able to do his own TED talk.
It was a TEDx talk. That's why I was able to do it.
But he was wearing like this fake ass like Roman Halloween costume, Roman gladiator armor,
and he was talking about like what he believed the future was going to be, and it was insanity.
Look it up. Look up Sam Hyde TEDx.
There's a distinct clip like a web thread I saw of him doing it, and it cut to this guy in the audience just like laughing his ass off, like he could not handle it.
He walked up into the stands, I think, and he was like getting all winded and shit. It's funny.
Dude, TED Talks are such bullshit. You know that they're actually they're corporate retreats. Like you have to pay thousands of dollars to get seats to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're a joke. They're like a joke now. Like,
and they're not even. A lot of them aren't even like vetted for like accuracy.
Yep.
Really.
And now
pretty much anybody can talk on a TED Talk if you have money.
Yeah, and TEDx talks are like 1,000 times worse. Like they will put any jackass with 2 ideas in his head. There's an actual like neckbeard guy on like a TEDx talk. I saw it. I was like, wow.
There was like this whole thing where
the fedora and everything.
There was this wonderful thing where this one guy like did TED Talk about some like experiment he did, and they found out later that he faked all his results, and they wouldn't like do anything about it. Like they just left it up. So.
Well, at the very least, they're entertaining.
Money
and thought provoking.
Internet views. You know, it happens.
It happens.
Everyone likes to get internet views and clicks and shit. I don't know. Half like this shit on YouTube is like, check out this sex position and some other bullshit, and it's just the most like
glowing hot
ass thumbnail in the world.
Glowing hot knife is actually kind of funny.
Glowing hot knife gone sexual.
Dude, glowing hot knife is so weird because the guy doesn't wear any gloves or like safety equipment or anything. You see his bare hands on this like glowing on his knife.
Guy's got some balls.
That dude saw the hydraulic press channels
John,
popping up.
John, it's not pronounced hydraulic press.
Hydraulic press channel. He saw the hydraulic press channel.
No one can do the voice right though, because that sounded like Russian. It's like hydraulic press channel.
Yeah,
I still the one
like Eastern Europe.
The one where he folds the paper and the thing fucking breaks and he's like, what the fuck? I love it.
Only watch the original channel. It's so retarded that
there's like
people
an imitation one. Yeah, it's literally
people copycatted hydraulic presses
with like lowercase letters.
There's definitely people that went out there and bought a hydraulic press just to make a hydraulic press YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that's sad, dude.
I know. I mean, they had hopes and dreams of being the next great hydraulic press.
And then I never got into the glowing knife thing.
Remember Willet? I mean, that whole series of people just destroying shit. Like, again, that's what is it a good idea to microwave this? Kind of the same thing.
Is it a good idea to microwave this?
Or remember Willet Blend?
Oh yeah.
I like the one where he did the laser pointers because he turned all the lights off and turned all the laser pointers on, and they were dancing around in there. I thought it was really cool.
But with Blend Tech, if you've seen one, you've seen them all because they all blend pretty much the same. I mean, there's a couple episodes where it almost breaks the blender or something.
There's a couple good episodes.
Woo! Laser smoke! Don't breathe this.
Don't breathe it.
There's a couple good episodes of that slow-mo channel.
Slow-mo. There's one where they put paint on subwoofers and it actually looks pretty.
There was one recently where they blew up a Mac with a combustion chamber. It was pretty ridiculous.
There was one where they shot a gun they shot a bullet into water.
I thought it was underwater.
I think,
and it showed the gas coming out of the gun, and like
it must have been underwater then.
Yep.
But they shot a gun underwater, and that was cool.
The one I also really like the ones where they like throw shit at people because you can see like people's skulls shifting inside under their skin.
Well, no, you can see their skin like.
Man, you know what my favorite slow-mo shit to watch was?
What?
On the show Deadliest Warrior, when they'd show like torsos and shit, like the gel torsos. Fuck, did you know one of the guys from Deadliest Warrior is dead?
What?
The bald guy. He came in like in the later seasons, and he's a bald dude.
I don't know.
Mac, whatever. He also hosted that Future Weapons show. If you ever watched that,
No, I didn't.
guy's fucking dead. He had brain cancer.
Rip.
Anyway,
Is that why he
Deadliest
was-
Warrior, awesome.
Pretty
Best
good.
episode of
was
Deadliest
okay.
Warrior was like Roman Centurion versus Rajput. Rajput are Indian guys, and they have this weapon called the Qatar. It's a gauntlet you wear, and it's like a regular sort of like big ass blade, but you can also press down on this thing, and it splits in like a fork. And they did a video, and so the guy's demonstrating it, and he's punching the shit out of a pig carcass and like slicing the shit. It annihilates the thing. And the Roman Centurion guy's like, okay, hold on. Roman Centurions wore chainmail, okay? So he puts the chainmail over it. Like, try to punch through that. He's like, okay, I'll do it. Easily, like it wasn't even there, and he annihilates it, and it's so perfect. And the look on the guy's face, he's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I think
Fuck, I love Deadliest Warrior.
the main thing.
It's such a shit show, but it was really fun.
The main thing working to that show's detriment was that it was on Spike TV.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably made more money on Spike TV, but Spike TV is so garbage. Do you remember 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yeah.
That movie.
How did they get Ron Perlman to narrate that?
What
Well,
was the other one?
they
It
paid
was
him
like
enough.
it was like Mansers. You remember Mansers?
Oh my
Yes.
god, that is the worst show.
It was, how many boobs does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Football, boobs, trucks, guns, muscles, weed. They're a little bit of weed.
Can you crush a can of beer with boobs?
Epic!
was
That
an
show was so epic, dude. That is the most epic channel on TV. Spike TV.
Was it the Man Show that was a Spike one?
Mansers.
It was like
Mansers.
no. There was a show called the Man Show, and Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel hosted.
Oh
it.
yeah.
And they're one of their best segments. And it was actually funny because they had one segment where they had a kid in a Boy Scout outfit hang outside a liquor store and try and ask people to buy him beer. or he would like sell beer on out of a cardboard box on the side of the street. And it was amazing. And some guy actually did buy him beer though, and went in and got it for him. Would you do that if you were old enough? Would you buy beer for a kid?
Not if he's right out front of the store.
That's true. Yeah.
Something would be up at that point. Like we could tell.
Oh yeah, it'd be like a Chris Hansen.
But if it was like
do you think Chris Hansen is going to get to the point where he just starts deliberately entrapping people, making them commit crimes they normally wouldn't commit?
What if they get like on the next season of Dateline or something? They get severe budget cuts, so they don't have enough money to hire the kid actors.
He's busting people for jaywalking.
No. They don't have enough money to hire the kid actors, so they have Chris Hansen dress up as a little girl and try to seduce older men.
That's
You thought I was a kid, didn't you?
That's exactly like the South Park episode where the chief of police goes undercover as a prostitute and wears a wig and everything,
yeah.
but he waits way too long to tell people he's a cop.
Yeah,
so there's one where it's like a frat party and they hire the prostitute and he has sex with all of them and then he busts them for being a cop. Oh my god, it's so good. That's Butter's Bottom Bitch. That episode was hilarious.
That was a good episode.
Oh
yeah.
shit, they
Easily
probably
one of the
finished up
best.
their new season by now. I haven't watched the rest
I
of it.
haven't watched the new season. I don't
Isn't
know.
this the one that's all one continuous?
I haven't
Yeah, they
heard
did
anything about
season
it.
19. They started with that, and it was really good. And then
The
this is
PC
season 20
Principal
they're on.
season, that whole with the ads and things like that, insanely good.
Yeah.
Easily one of their best seasons.
The one with Whole Foods.
And I've watched most of this current season.
You know what story
That's
arc I
pretty
really liked? The Coon and Friends one with
Yeah.
Cthulhu, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
God, Carmen was so
Mysterio.
Mysterion, yeah. Kenny's Mysterion.
Mint Berry Crunch.
Yeah,
It's like a
Berry-
shot where he flies back. and
Mint
gives
Berry
his
Crunch
sister
turns into
little
a god.
finger. Yeah.
Turns out to be like a extra dimensional being.
Yeah,
A god.
he fights Cthulhu. And then Cartman uses the LeBron James technique. on like his mom.
Oh, yeah.
What should I do? Should I admit
What would
my
you have me do?
What would you have me do? Yeah. No, I love the first episode where they introduce Cartman with the coon, and he's like confronting Mysterio. He's like, dude, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you if you don't stop. And he lights off fireworks, and then he's like, fireworks are illegal in Colorado, you asshole. And it has my all-time favorite South Park line, where it's Butters dressed up as Professor Chaos, and he's fighting Mysterion over like a construction site, and all of the adults in the town think they have actual superpowers. So there's a scene where like a police sniper is like, I think I got a shot on Chaos, or he's like, you think your bullets could hurt him? I love that line. It's so good.
That's what the next game is going to be. It's
What?
gonna be Coon and Friends.
Oh, it is the
Yeah.
the fractured butthole.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I still haven't beaten the first game.
The first game's so much fun.
First game's
The
great.
first game is actually pretty short.
Yeah.
Like if you go through it, it's not that long,
love
but
that.
you can get it for
I
cheap.
think my favorite part
I've-
of that game though is when the alien ship crashes in South Park. and
Okay,
you throw-
No,
hold on.
it's not.
Hold on.
It's
I'm gonna
not
tell you how far I
abortion
got.
clinic.
I'll tell you how far I got so you don't
abortion
spoil it. I just got past the first, like the UFO.
Yeah,
When
it's
you're on
all
the
way
UFO,
after-
I
You're
just got
not.
past
You
it.
haven't been to the abortion.
Yeah,
Have
the
you done
abortion
anything to
clinic
do
is
with the
pretty fucking
girls?
great.
The
No.
abortion clinic
Okay,
almost
spoil
got
it.
the game like
don't spoil it.
they couldn't release
But
it.
there's
Don't
that
spoil
there's
it.
that thing where the alien ship crashes and they throw a tarp over it and say it's a construction
It's
site
Taco
for new
Bell.
Taco Bell.
Oh, you know, yeah, I saw that.
And they think that
That's about as
the
far as I
and
got.
they're who is it like? He's trying to convince him that the green like nuclear waste is like Taco Bell sauce or something like that. Oh my god! The ending
Okay,
to that game
hold
is
on.
ridiculous.
Don't spoil that.
I'm not spoiling it. I'm just saying it is ridiculous.
Do you know that the fractured butthole takes place the next day?
Nice.
It literally takes place the day after the first game.
Have you gotten to the gnomes? The underpants gnomes? Oh, that part is also really, really good. Have you gotten to the aliens?
Stop asking me. Yes, I have gotten to
The butt, that part's pretty funny
Yeah.
with the butt probe and things like that, or the anal probe. That's the very first episode of South Park. Cartman gets an anal
yeah.
probe. Yeah, never watched it.
Well, like, yeah, they
was
made
back-
the.
What was the episode of South Park where it's like a Jesus allegory, like has to do with the economy? Margaritaville.
Yeah.
And half of the episode is Stan trying to return the Margaritaville machine, where it eventually gets to the U.S. government, where they tell him it's worth $6 trillion. And it's literally the way they decide it is a board, like with all these different options on it, and a chicken, and they cut its head off, and they play the kazoo until it falls onto something.
What are those little the little animals?
Some Pokemon.
Oh, the critters, the Christmas
No,
critters.
no.
Christmas
Christmas
critters.
The one in Imagination Land. That
Yeah.
we need to get
I
someone
love
with
the Christmas
AIDS
critters.
to pee in her eye
Yeah.
socket. So that she dies. It's like, no one here has AIDS. Oh, come on, y'all. I bet we go find some AIDS in the forest. God, fucking Imagination Land.
That was a really good series.
Ah,
too.
Kyle, come and pay homage to the Sultan's balls. Love, like, all of Cartman's costumes he's wearing.
The man bear pig.
Half man, half bear,
Why is it
and
that-
half peg.
Why is it the children keep breaking into our base?
12-year-olds
They always
keep-
dive through the
The
window.
same window. And they play the same exact clip. It's coming from Sector 2. Sector 2. And then just BAM! Oh, that was so fucking hilarious.
I remember South Park. Remember South Park?
Remember
You guys
me.
haven't seen the season, so you don't know what I'm referencing.
Oh, the grapes. The member grapes. I know
Okay.
that, dude.
All right.
I never watched this season where Cartman buys the Washington Redskins or something like that. Or he makes an
No.
organization named
Yeah.
Washington Redskins.
They make a
and like the
Kickstarter.
IRS or something like starts thinking it's the actual Washington Redskins or something like that.
Well, no,
I haven't seen that episode.
The Washington Redskins start getting mad that they're using their name for a company
Yeah.
that does nothing and is like rude to their customers on purpose.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're besmirching our name. You can't just take our name and use it for profit. And they're like, yeah, fuck you. And it's a whole like thing. They
About how
have
the Washington Redskins don't give a shit about Native Americans.
There was a commercial where there was like a PSA a long time ago about not littering or something like that.
Yeah.
And it had a Native American man.
And he
they-
cries,
and he
yeah.
cries. They make fun of that, but it's like the owner of the Washington Redskins or something. It's pretty clever.
Oh my god.
Have you guys ever seen? I think I told you about this. Well, I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but do you guys ever watch Kenny vs. Spenny?
Oh fuck, are you talking about?
You've talked about it before.
I've
yeah.
never heard of that.
It's
Kenny versus Spenny. Oh, is this from South Park or
no, it was this show on for a while where it's these two like comedian guys, and they live in a house together, and they do challenges every week, where they challenge each other with these different things. So one of them was they each got a mason jar, and they had a week to fill it up with as much semen as they possibly could. And then they were like, or they had these.
That would be so hard.
They had a sleeping one where like.
Do you know what the average amount that a man ejaculates? It's 2 to 4 milliliters. Do you know how much is in a fucking mason jar? That would take forever. Don't ask me how I know that.
They had one where they had to stay up as long as possible, and they always have these like punishment challenges at the end. But they always one of them is like this really like timid kind of like scared guy, and they always just the other guy always cheats and just messes with him and just fucks him up so much. And so there was one episode actually got pulled from the air because the punishment was that the guy who lost had to lick a cat's butthole. And they thought it was a bestiality. It was like supporting bestiality, so they pulled it off the air.
Yeah. Oh my god. I remember there was a YouTube series called Life and Level where those guys would play video games and they'd have a challenge attached to it, very much involved with like pain, and then they would spin a wheel and they would have like an ultimate like thing done to them. So one was like they were playing Call of Duty World at War, and every time the other person died, they would rip wax strips off their legs, which were really hairy. And then I think one of like the ending like Wheel of Death things was like they had to get cigarettes burned into them. Oh, but the worst one was a guy. It was like the wheel thing, and it was called like manlet or something. Mm-hmm. And the guy had to eat an omelet with the other guy's semen in it, and holy shit, like it was fantastic. And the best part is that we had a drinking competition at our dorm in freshman year of high school, and one guy lost, and that was the thing he had to do, was eat an omelet with another guy's semen in it, with the guy he was challenging. It was the most amazing thing.
Ew, gross.
Oh my god, it's fucking...
That's unsanitary.
Nasty. I can't, I think someone was telling me, because I didn't actually go and cook the omelet, I was more of like a spectator, and they said that when they were bringing it up back to our floor in the elevator, because the kitchen was in like the basement or something like that, there was like an RA there, and they were riding up, and he said, "Oh, what's that omelet for?" "Oh, it's got cum in it." And they said he had literally no reaction, like he wasn't even listening to him. I thought that was the funniest thing. What is that pin of? Is that the one with the frog on it?
Yeah, the band we share a rehearsal space with. This is their next album. It's called "What a Crime to Be Alive." And
Jesus,
those are the guys who drink ham.
Is that Donald Trump?
Yeah, that's Donald Trump as the Emperor.
Oh, edgy. How edgy. It's a nice chair though. The Emperor's. Did you know the Emperor's chair has a shield generator? So if you try to shoot him, it's like a bubble forms. He's all good.
The band's name is Invidiosis, by the way. They're technical death metal.
Why is their Facebook group Invidiosis, Minnesota though?
Well, they have an Invidiosis page, which is their official band page, and then they have Invidiosis Minnesota, which is what their singer uses to just post on Facebook all the time.
Is it the one where you just post like them drinking hams all the time?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, those people.
They can. I've seen them down a case of hams in less than an hour. With like,
how many of them are there?
Just 2 of them. We're working on one case.
15 fucking. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a beer every.
That's how much John drank and blacked out.
Yeah. Wait, so
that kind of pisses me off. I want to remember the rest of the
they're
night.
drinking 15 beers apiece in an hour. That's a beer every 4 minutes.
I can recount. I was pretty drunk, but I can probably recount most of it for you.
Yeah, it's a beer every 4 minutes. That's disgusting.
I think you almost peed on Luke's TV at one point.
I believe it.
You stood up because you said you were. Yeah, it was after Grant was yelling at you because you were like almost throwing up all over the couch.
Okay.
You were screaming when the New Year happened. Like you were like, "Oh, 26, and you lost your mind."
Okay, chronologically, the last thing I remember. I'm trying to think. Last thing I remember, I was sitting in the dark talking to Kelly and Max. That may have been later on in the night, though.
But you started talking about.
Okay, so let's just say
you were talking about how you had a gigantic.
Let's just say the last thing,
like a 15-inch dick.
Let's just say the last thing I remember was watching the Angry Birds movie.
So oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. So what happened after that?
Because we had like you finished that movie.
So you kept drinking, obviously, and you were just wandering around talking to people. You tried to play pool for a little while, You're really bad.
I tried to play.
Do you think you lost your memory because you hit your head so hard?
I don't know.
Because that actually might have been it.
You tried to play Magic, and as soon as you tried to shuffle your deck, you threw it all over
right
the table and fell over and hit your head on a door.
Yeah, you did try to play a game of pool.
Okay, so after pool, I tried to play Magic and hit my head.
Yeah. And then you
Robbie and I won pool in the dumbest. We won the pool in the dumbest way. Was it our team? Because you guys scratched on the 8-ball, and we won in literally the dumbest fashion.
Oh yeah,
that was the beginning of that. Yeah.
We brought you over to the couch, and you sat there with like Max and Kelly, and you started talking to Kelly about how ginormous your dick was. Apparently, like we were just listening to you. And so for context, Kelly is a lesbian.
Kelly is a fucking lesbo.
Yeah, Kelly is a super gay. And you asked.
I feel like I was being sarcastic.
You asked Max if he wanted to go into the bathroom and watch you jerk off.
What the fuck? Okay, I don't believe that.
No, you did.
There is a recording of it on your phone.
We literally.
I listened to it in the morning.
I'm pretty sure I did like almost spit take over the Magic game when he said, "Max, do you want to go watch me jerk off in the bathroom?" And you kept asking him. You were like really persistent about it. You're like, "Max, come on, you want to go watch me jerk off in the bathroom?"
Okay,
it was horrible.
and then everybody started going to bed around 4 a.m. And you started at like probably 5 in the morning. You started like burping really loud and like hiccuping.
You were hiccuping and you were right next to me. And I thought you were gonna throw up. I was like, John, you son of a bitch, go to the bathroom.
It sounded like you were gonna throw up. So my God, was yelling at you. And so then you stood up and you stood right in front of the TV. And I think I heard you zip your pants down. And I was like, I was already standing up because I was like, I was in a really uncomfortable position and I was like stretching out my back. I looked over and you're like standing there like looking down and I couldn't see what you were doing, but I think I heard a zipper and I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna pee on Luke's TV. So I walked over to you and I'm like, John, are you okay? Like, do you need help getting to the bathroom? And you're like, no, I got this. And you just wandered off into the darkness and I think you went in the bathroom and then you just passed out on Luke's bed on.
I don't think I could have gotten more pissed off like when you were sitting there like I was insane.
Yeah, you were like, no, dude, I'm fine. And Grant's like, God, you're gonna throw up everywhere. Get the fuck out of bed.
Bathroom.
To be fair, I was having a lot of gas, so.
Yeah, good to know.
Dude, if you would have peed on Luke's TV, like,
that would have been the grand finale. The coup de grace.
You would have literally murdered everyone in that basement.
I would have walked home.
Yeah, I would have left immediately. I would have grabbed Leah and just like, we're getting the fuck out of here right now.
I am super fucking high.
We had to rip the door handle off at one point.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Somebody ripped the door handle off the outside door.
When we went outside to go drink hams in the snow, somebody ripped the door handle off.
Oh my God! I was already smashed by that point, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like, I remember the whole idea was just to go outside and chug it, and that was it.
We all went outside,
took
our shirts off, laid in the snow, and drank hams.
And we chugged hams, and I remember I just wasn't even like swallowing my hams. I chugged it and then it was just like spitting it out immediately all over my pants.
Oh man, and what's the Slender Man?
When I got home, I was still drunk in the morning, and when I got home, my parents were like, immediately they look at me right when I walk in the door, and they're like, "You had a fun night last night, didn't you?" I'm pretty sure I reeked of alcohol.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. You spilled it like 4 different times all over yourself.
Oh yeah, I kept spilling.
Every time I looked at you, you had a different stain on you.
I can't even believe that we decided that night, like, to drop acid the very next day, given how smashed.
John, you tried to get Grant to give you a tab at like 3
in
the morning.
He asked when you were demanded. He was on his fucking. He was like on the ground, like crawling towards me, and he said, "No, give me one of those tabs." And I'm like, "Fuck off! Just get away from me!"
Was that before or after he slammed his head into a door?
I think it was before. Yeah. It was
because I was still there for that.
I finally had my blackout drunk Trump party.
Yeah,
I wanted to have one.
Trump! You said some choice words. You screamed about 2016 and Trump. You lost your mind. I have a video on my phone.
Too. You were freaking out about him.
Yeah.
Okay, if I mentioned Harambe, I was being sarcastic and making fun of the people who.
You're like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I wanted to have I wanted to get so fucking drunk.
Yeah,
the night Trump was elected, I wanted to like just skip school and work the next day.
Really?
And just fucking get fucked up that day.
You were nobody else fucked up by it, like.
No, I just like it felt like an event that I could have an excuse to.
You had to tell your grandkids, like, I got so hammered when this man got elected. You don't even know.
No, but nobody else wanted to do that.
I don't even know what I did the night Trump got elected. I think I just had a brownie or something like that. I don't know.
I was watching it with Luke and Garina.
I was watching it with my
and we
neighbors.
were like shell shocked. It was like, whoa.
I was watching it with my neighbors
was
who were
like,
Trump
what the fuck
supporters,
is
and we were
happening?
watching it on Fox News, and they were like clapping every time Trump won a state. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. All right.
We watched. We watched the Comedy Central stream of
The
it.
Comedy Central had a stream of it.
Yeah, they had a election stream with the Daily Show host, and then they had an At Midnight episode with a bunch of people, and it was an election themed At Midnight episode, and it was pretty funny.
That must have been the best.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like
I would love to watch Trevor Noah squirm.
No, they
watching Trump getting elected.
They cut to they cut to all the people at Midnight, and they're like, "How you guys feeling?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm pretty fucking depressed right now." It was
oh my god,
it was fun.
I hate Trevor Noah more than anything else in the world, so I would have paid a lot of money to watch.
He was a pretty good sport about it. He was having fun with it.
I just hate they literally go to Trump rallies and they pick out the most obviously like blatantly racist and sexist and misinformed supporters who are easily the exception and not the norm, and they portray it like, oh, this is all Trump supporters. And fuck that. Fuck that shit.
It's funny. Obviously, you got to take.
I'd rather watch Eric Andre go to the RNC and troll Alex Jones.
With Alex Jones, I want you to have sex with my wife.
Here's my hotel key. Oh my god. And they thought that he was from The Daily Show.
Yeah, I'm not a Democrat, I'm a nihilist.
Yeah, oh my god, I can't fucking believe they didn't kick him out the second.
That was amazing. Well, they did get their press passes revoked.
Oh yeah, for the DNC, so it's like Eric Andre near the DNC, and he's like staggering around like drunkenly outside the fence.
He pretended to have sex with a Hillary Clinton lookalike on like the lawn of the DNC.
Oh, it was like Eric Andre's subway like things, like where he dresses up, where he's like the mailman, and he starts going through people's mail, and like he like finds a birthday card. Oh, $5. He puts in his pocket. Like, oh my god, I told you me and my brother, we watched I first showed him Eric Andre, and I'd never seen him laugh harder in his life than at the Eric Andre Fruit Loops thing. Like, he was like, he had to catch his breath because he was so out of breath.
I didn't get the job at Fruit Loops. My body is now your communion.
Eat from me. Drink from me. Start spilling it all over the place.
Okay, I think our audience has some homework they're procrastinating, so probably
homework.
What do we?
Our audience. They're listening to this. Instead of doing their science homework like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
They're just listening to this.
It's still
crap.
just general science class. Just
yeah.
Science.
Well, no, that's what they need to work on.
Half of high school is just that. Just a lot of like general science.
Yeah. English.
Use a demo.
History.
I'm gonna put sulfuric acid on sugar.
What history?
Cool
all of history.
All of it.
What part of science are we studying? All of it.
This is the Christopher Columbus era of history. Now we're on the Franklin Roosevelt era of history.
What part of math are we doing?
And
all
nothing
math.
happened in between.
Nothing.
There's
It's
nothing
just
of
Christopher
note.
Columbus to
It seems so weird now that like your college classes are so specialized. I'm just thinking like you just had science class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just science.
I'm taking an appreciation for classical music course at my college. It's like,
oh god,
the fuck? Like I would never have. There'd never been an option at high school or something like that. Like you could take fashion class. I think sounds that stupid, but like,
I
could take useless classes.
Oh yeah.
My dad had the worst ideas. So in high school, I was thinking about what elective to take, and there was an open slot, and I really wasn't interested in anything. And my dad's like, "Oh, you should take the interior design class. It will teach you good life skills on how to arrange a room and stuff." And
that's not at all with it.
Okay, and so I just signed up for it just to see what it was like. I was the only guy in that class. The only guy. The teacher was a girl. Everyone else was girls.
Did you enjoy it?
I switched out with it.
Did you enjoy the novelty of it at least for like the time you were?
I switched out for a week, within a week, because I was a little pussy bitch.
What did you switch to?
I can't remember.
We did computer programming.
I cannot remember 80% of high school.
80%, that exact number.
We did a computer programming class together. I remember I finished both semesters of work in the first semester and played like Minecraft and Flash games for the rest of the semester.
I remember I played Minecraft and Flash games, but I didn't do any of the work. Really.
Yeah, you were in the AP class and you still played Minecraft and Flash games.
I know.
And stuff. You basically failed that class, didn't you?
I came out with a D-.
Good job.
The teacher was very nice, and I put in a lot of work.
Yeah, that
in the
teacher
last
was really
week.
nice.
And
Yeah, I finished both semesters of work by the time Christmas break rolled around, and I was like, all right.
To be fair,
So
getting a D- in high school, you basically just have to do like the last project or last. Cause it's a lot different. Like there's no curve in high school, things like that. There's no curve, yeah. And
I'm getting tired, you guys.
I'm getting really tired myself.
Our physics class got curved so fucking hard this semester. So it was like an introduction to like motion dynamics class, but our teacher was just fucking hard ass about
Curves
everything.
suck.
He curved the entire class though. I would have failed that class.
I never understood the point of a curve. Like I know.
Just to make sure that enough people pass. Like basically like if it's so hard that like the average grade is like a D or something, then that's like the average that you should reach to pass the class, basically, because that means that
that makes sense, but it's kind of stupid where it seems like a lot of curves end up being like almost a quota of this many people have to pass, this many people have to get A's, have to get B's, have to get C's.
A lot of times it is for like accreditation purposes.
I know, it's fucking
like
retarded.
a lot of people in one of our classes, it's kind of a newer style curriculum, and so many people are getting like A's in it that they're actually gonna like change it so that less people do well in it.
Yeah, because fuck teaching
purposes.
kids that they can do well at something and get A's at something. Give them a B. Knock them down a peg.
Yeah. Like they're not doing it this semester because they were like, yeah, this is a new course, and like if we're gonna change anything right now, it's gonna be for your benefit because it's like not fair to make it harder in the middle of the semester.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
So do you guys have any closing thoughts on Rogue One while we can talk about it?
God, why are we still talking about Rogue One?
Because we need to.
The Tarkin CGI was good. Anybody who says it was shit,
it was pretty good. It had some weird uncanny valley moments.
Well, yeah,
it's
not perfect, but like
overall.
people who said it was shit, they can fuck off.
It was impressive.
The Leia one was good too.
The Leia one was way better because they actually have archival footage. They had a lot more to go off. Peter Cushing stuff was basically just kind of off the cuff.
That one was a little bit creepier, but it's still impressive.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that. I saw that movie before Carrie Fisher died and after Carrie Fisher died. Yeah. So I had a complete different reaction when I saw both those parts. It was pretty fucked.
That's everything you want to say, because once Brad gets back on the podcast, he still hasn't seen it yet.
We're not going to talk about it then. I don't give a shit.
We're going to try to talk about it, and we're just going to slap.
Brad will literally just say it was all right, and he won't have any comments.
No. Yeah, that's okay. Right after I hear he's seen it, I'm gonna ask him what he thought of it, and I guarantee you he'll be like, "It was all right," or it was good. That's all he'll say about it.
Yeah. Brad has a very Brad cannot be bothered to like espouse something. Like you have to like really get him going, unless it's like Van Halen. If you can get Van Halen's probably the only thing you can get Brad going about, or like what other things?
Obscure Bandcamp artists too.
Obscure Bandcamp artists, really? Mm-hmm. That's funny. I love it when my Bandcamp artists are most obscure.
Ugh. Alright, let's be done. I want to play Halo Reach.
Oh my god.
I want to finish it. I have to do it. I have to finish it. I made it this far.
I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.
Fucking loser.
Good night, and she's done.
You have to stop the recording to go to bed, John.
It'll stop on its own eventually.
Oh my god.
How much memory do we have left?
Like at least 7 gigabytes.
Is that Lee Van Cleef on your shirt, John?
Lee Van Cleef?
It's the guy.
I don't know who that is.
He plays the bounty hunter in Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
It's probably him.
What is your shirt?
It's a tour shirt from Invidiosis, the band we were talking about.
Whatever happened to your I Like You shirt with the freaky fucking girl on it?
It's in my room.
Why do you ever wear that shirt anymore?
Because
it's like deliberately creepy.
It's a Halloween shirt.
Oh.
I wish it was Halloween 24/7, but I mean,
what's your favorite holiday?
My favorite movie is Nightmare Before Christmas. That's my entire personality.
No. It's my favorite movie is. Oh yeah, you did say Nightmare Before Christmas. Christmas.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I thought you said Nightmare on Elm Street.
No.
Is that like a shitty meme thing? Like
Yeah,
someone's
it's like,
Yeah.
it's like a cult
It's
thing
like,
or
I'm a
something.
quirky goth girl.
No,
I like Tim Burton.
The picture is my favorite movie is Nightmare
I only
Before
like Tim
Christmas.
Burton.
That's my personality.
the movie
Well-
Nightmare Before Christmas is someone's personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like goth chicks use it as their whole aesthetic. That's
No,
like,
goth kids use that Coraline movie as their aesthetic.
Mhm, sure they do.
You don't even know. Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Coraline?
Yeah.
Yeah, by Leica. That's the company that made the movie.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Didn't Leica make Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, that was Tim Burton, and I don't know what the
Tim
name
Burton
was.
Incorporated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where he makes
Leica
Edward
made Kubo,
Scissorhands.
though, right?
Leica made Kubo and the Two Strings,
That
and
was
they
good.
made
That was actually a really good movie.
yeah, it was pretty.
Why
cool.
did he give him Scissorhands?
Who's
It made
Scissorhands?
no sense.
Wait, who got Scissorhands?
Edward Scissorhands. Why do you
Oh.
think that was even remotely a good idea?
No, they were just placeholders for his real hands.
Why?
That's
why
how
don't
they
you
explained
just,
it.
Why wouldn't you just skip to real hands? Why would you put fucking scissors?
Because it's
Of
cool.
all objects.
It's pretty radical.
You might as well just put flamethrowers on his hands at that point.
That'd be amazing. It sounds like the best movie ever. John, we should make a movie called, what should we call it?
Edward Flamethrower.
No, it's gotta be a
Edward
different
Flame-
name.
Jeffrey,
It's gotta-
Jeffrey Spoonfeet.
I want a
No,
remake
Jeff-
of
yeah, Jeffrey
Edward
Spoonfeet.
Scissorhands called Edward 40 Hands, where Edward Scissorhands tries to play Edward 40 Hands. Exactly that. Played with older Johnny Depp.
Stabs himself in the eyes over and over.
Ah! Fuck it, Edward 40 Hands.
All right.
Press the button. End it.
Well, it's been a fun holiday. See ya.